In this world, the power of the gods reigned supreme. While the West had countless of them, the 9 provinces, with its 10,000 years of history, didn't have a single god. This was nothing but a joke in the eyes of the Westerners. However, Zhao Feiyu, a person from the 21st century, changed everything with just a chant he had memorized since childhood. Wearing the universe ring, arm wrapped with a red armillary sash, feet stepping on the wind-fire wheels, the number 1 fierce god of the heavenly court, the number 1 god of slaughter of the 3 realms, one of the 3 great rebellious gods, Neza, the legendary 3rd prince, had been summoned. But this was just the beginning of the story, because Zhao Feiyu would now begin to revive the gods of the 9 provinces. 100 years passed. The glaciers melted faster and faster, and the sea level rose unceasingly. The continents were submerged in the sea. The long-frozen people of the Sea Tribe finally awakened. They were invincible, brazenly looting, burning, and massacring. Just as humanity fell into despair, suddenly, a stone statue fell from the endless sky, crashing straight onto the human continent. An old Western man called out the statue's name. Immediately, the statue shot out a blinding white light, which entered the old man's body. In that instant, the old man was rejuvenated, possessing endless holy power, and led humanity to repel the invasion of the Sea Tribe. He was hailed by mankind as a hero. After that, more than 10 other stone statues fell from the starry sky. All of them were exclusively claimed by the church and the Mount of Gods. This ideology became deeply ingrained in people's minds, making the people of the 9 provinces feel inferior for having no gods. Many people from the 9 provinces worshipped the West, feeling ashamed for not being born as Westerners. In an arena, a large crowd was gathered around a tightly wrapped object on the stage. Everyone was intently focused on the wrapped object. Just then, a confused thought appeared in someone's mind. Where is this? Our protagonist, Zhao Feiyu, stood in the crowd, his face bewildered, not understanding where he was. Feiyu thought with some suspicion, did I get transmigrated? He turned to the person with glasses next to him and said, the 9 provinces has no gods. How can there be no gods? Hey, Wang Shuai, has everyone in this world forgotten? For the past 500 years, more than 10 stone statues have fallen from the sky, but not a single one was a god of the 9 provinces. He felt that Feiyu was acting very strange today. Big bro, what's wrong? You're acting strange. He looked at the pale face of Wang Shuai beside him and thought to himself, this is indeed Wang Shuai, but he's the Wang Shuai of another world. He knows nothing about the gods of the 9 provinces. As the two of them were whispering, a tall, long-haired girl stepped onto the stage. Big bro, keep your voice down. Saying such things is heresy. They'll throw you out immediately. She pointed towards the statue that was slowly being unveiled. The divine inheritance ritual now officially begins. As the cloth was gradually removed, Feiyu's eyes showed a hint of surprise. 3 heads. The statue was unveiled. 6 arms. The hall immediately erupted in an uproar. What kind of god is this? Why does it have this form? It's completely different from the previous gods. Is this even a person? It's no different from a monster. Hearing those words, the corner of his mouth twitched into a smirk. A bunch of ignorant fools. Just a moment ago, they were mocking the 9 provinces for having no gods. Feiyu knew who the statue was at a single glance. This is the 3rd prince, Neza, a true god of the 9 provinces. At this moment, an archbishop arrived with his guards. Archbishop Gabriel has arrived. He's the one the church has chosen this time, a successor to the archangel's line. The one the church has chosen this time is him. The man before them was Archbishop Gabriel. He stood listening to the chatter around him. After inheriting this 3-headed god, the church's power will be further consolidated. At this moment, Gabriel stood before everyone and shouted loudly, "You lost sheep. You people of the 9 provinces, the most lowly race on planet Blue. It is your honor to witness this divine inheritance. After the divine inheritance is complete, the 3-headed angel will protect its believers and bestow blessings. Like a true god." Feiyu, hiding in the crowd, sneered inwardly. At his words, 3-headed angel, these foreigners are truly a laughingstock. It will be a good show to watch soon. Gabriel turned to look at the chosen successor beside him. Shout the name of the god. Yes, sir. He knelt respectfully before the statue and said, Great Archangel Metatron, Your great believer, Kak, is here to receive your inheritance. But the statue just stood there, before everyone. It didn't move at all. This made his face turn deathly pale. Kak then continued to shout at the statue, "The representative of God, King of angels, the mightiest angel under God, Metatron, your devout believer, Kak, begs you to grant me the power of inheritance." The crowd below was in chaos. What's happening? Could it be that this isn't a god of the church? He must not have called out the full title. Seeing this scene, Feiyu felt a sense of contempt. It's not your god. Even if you shout your lungs out, he won't respond. I want to see how you're going to continue this charade. Suddenly, a voice spoke up before Kak and Gabriel. "A god of our mount of gods. How could your church possibly awaken one?" What a joke. The one who had just spoken was Apollo. He came with one of his own men. Apollo ordered him, "Sintes, you go and awaken the statue." "Yes, sir." He stepped forward and roared at the statue, "Jiren, please grant me endless power." The statue's eyes just flashed a hint of red, but still didn't move. This made him shout with joy. It moved. The statue seems to have moved. This is Jiren, the three-headed, six-armed giant god, who lives on the island of Erythea in the Gulf of Cadiz in the Atlantic. Please grant me your power. As soon as he finished speaking, a burst of flame erupted, tearing through the air towards Senes. The flame incinerated his body, leaving nothing behind. Apollo, nearby, was engulfed by the flames and terrified. What happened? Senes was turned to ash? How could this be? Could it be that this is not a god from the Mount of Gods? He frantically shouted to everyone in the hall. "Everyone, don't panic. It must be that Jiren's power is too great. Senes just couldn't handle it." Apollo shouted at Gabriel, "Quickly, gather all the successors of the Mount of Gods here. Surely someone can withstand it." Gabriel quickly ordered, "Inform the church to send people here." Seeing them in such a frantic panic, Feiyu sighed and spoke nonchalantly, "Don't waste your effort. No matter how many people you send, it will be useless." Gabriel, furious, looked for the source of the voice. Who dares to speak so arrogantly? Step forward. Without hesitation, he stepped before him and said contemptuously, "I said it, and I'll say more. This statue is a god of my 9 provinces. You Western barbarians are fundamentally unworthy of bearing its power." Gabriel stood on the stage, pointing down angrily. "You in the crowd, get out here." Wang Shui whispered into Feiyu's ear, "Let's go. If we're discovered, we're done for." He kept demanding, "Who was it? Get out here and face your punishment." Feiyu stepped out and declared the statue belonged to the 9 provinces. "This stone statue is a god of my 9 provinces." The crowd beside him cursed him in fear. "My God, what is he saying? Is he so stupid he's gone mad? Daring to be disrespectful to a Western god." Gabriel's face darkened like an approaching storm. He relentlessly insulted him. "Why don't you kneel and repent? Beg the Father to forgive your ignorance. You are just a lowly insect. If this is a god of the 9 provinces, then prove it." Feiyu smirked, wearing the universe ring, arm wrapped with a red armillary sash, feet on the wind-fire wheels, holding the fire-tipped spear in hand. He was enraged by those words. Pulling out dragon tendons, skinning dragons alive, bravely fighting the 3-headed, 6-armed Yiksha, incarnated from a lotus flower. Those words successfully drove him mad with rage. "You brat, shut your mouth. Stop him." His men charged forward, but he remained in place, arrogantly continuing, "Great God of the 3 altars of the sea assembly, supreme, celestial marshal, commander of the 36 heavenly generals." Feiyu's eyes carried a look of provocation and contempt as he looked at him and recited the command. "Marshal of the 800,000 celestial soldiers, great general of illustrious and awe-inspiring fame, central altar marshal, the number 1 fierce god of the heavenly court, the number 1 god of slaughter of the 3 realms, third Prince Neza, manifest now." As soon as Feiyu finished speaking, a flame erupted, sending his men flying. The flame, with trails of smoke, swirled upwards. His body was now filled with immense power. Gabriel couldn't believe his eyes. "Impossible. Absolutely impossible. Almighty One, grant me strength to destroy this heretic." Nearby, Apollo controlled his small darts to attack. "Great Father, this man has gone against the will of the Mount of Gods. I shall pass judgment on him in your name." Feiyu faced Apollo's power alone, but he stood his ground, letting it rush towards him like a hungry tiger. His spear exploded, a massive, crimson power flying out as if to tear the sky apart. Fei Yu controlled the spear, plunging it straight into the ground. It created an immense sound. He gently placed his hand on the spear. The manifestation of Neza appeared right behind him. I am Neza, the great god of the three altars of the sea assembly. I descend upon the world to vanquish demons and bring light to humanity. The crowd, witnessing the manifestation, went into a frenzy. The nine provinces has a god. Our 9 provinces has a god. His name is Neza. Our god of the 9 provinces is named Neza. Our 9 provinces is not lowly. Neza, Neza. Fei Yu smirked as everyone chanted the name. Neza, Neza. Meanwhile, Gabriel's expression was extremely ugly. Unable to bear his anger, he roared, "Silence!" He stood to one side, questioning and mocking. What's wrong, Your Eminence? Is this still not enough to prove that the 9 provinces has gods? Gabriel's reason was clouded by rage. He drew his golden sword and charged recklessly. Despicable heretic, I will punish you in the name of the Almighty. As his sword swung, he easily parried the blow. The two stared at each other with sharp eyes. The air was thick with the smell of death. You haven't even digested the power of the 9 provinces god yet. Die before you're even born. Just by you, a mere wild god from the west. It seems the gods of this world need a reshuffling. Scene changed to a place with a clear blue sky. Birds were chirping. Inside a room, a conversation could be heard. What did you say? Your Majesty. At the divine inheritance ceremony in Huan province, a man from the 9 provinces recognized this god. The man was kneeling before an empress to report. He called the god's name and received the ability to inherit the god's power. It turns out she is the empress of the 9 provinces, Dongfang Yuxiao. He continued to report what he had heard. The god's name is Neza. After speaking, the scarred man's face showed some hesitation. He was sweating profusely. It is a god of our 9 provinces. Yu Xiao hurriedly stood up. Grand Marshal Luo Tian, your subject is here. Quickly, lead 20,000 9 provinces soldiers to provide aid. He hesitated slightly. He looked up to ask, Aid, Your Majesty? The 9 provinces does not wage war. She turned her back and continued to explain the operation. This time, Archbishop Gabriel and Apollo from the Mount of Gods have both brought troops. They will certainly not let this person go. They will not allow the 9 provinces any chance to inherit a god. At this time, Luo Tian asked again with some hesitation. You mean they will extinguish the divine spark of the 9 provinces in its infancy? Correct. We cannot delay. The situation on site must have already become tense. Grand Marshal, you must go and provide support immediately. Back at the arena, deafening sounds continuously rang out, along with a thick cloud of dust. Inside, Fei Yu was fighting fiercely against the group. Haha, so what if you inherited a god's power? Your level is too low. You are no match for me at all. Apollo, unwilling to accept this, continuously raised his bow. 9 provinces, wild god, receive your judgment. The arrow was fired. But the scene now was Wang Shuai stepping forward to block the arrow for him. Big bro, watch out. Fei Yu knelt, holding Wang Shuai in his lap. Fatty, how are you? He whispered, word by word. Big bro, run. This Gabriel is a saint-rank warrior. We can't win. We can't afford to provoke him. Their actions had thoroughly enraged him. Damn it. Gabriel now floated in the air above Fei Yu, sword in hand. You thief from the 9 provinces, you did this all by yourself. At the chaotic assembly to usurp the divine inheritance, a voice threatened. Today, you will pay with your life. Suddenly, a graceful female voice rang out, accompanied by a dazzling green light. You brat, how dare you? That green light shot straight down from the sky, landing on the ground and creating a massive shockwave. The person Fei Yu was waiting for had quickly arrived to reinforce him. Cardinal, do you intend to commit murder, my Jiuzhou? It turned out he was the Marshal of Jiuzhou, the Grand Commander of Taichung, Luo Tian. Shouldn't you ask me, the Grand Commander of Taichung, first? Bai Lai's eyebrows were nearly touching each other from pure rage. Anyone my church calls a heretic, no matter when or where, I have the right to judge them in the name of God. Luo Tian looked at him scornfully. Come into my Jiuzhou to kill the people of my Jiuzhou, and you still claim to be justified? You've got some nerve, Cardinal. He raised his arm and shouted. Then you'll have to ask my long spear first. If it agrees, where are the soldiers of Jiuzhou? Hearing this, the soldiers behind him roared in unison. Here, Luo Tian pointed 2 fingers straight at the two of them. You two, do you intend to declare war on Jiuzhou? Apollo cautiously turned to look at his father. What are the church's orders? His face was covered in beads of sweat as his mind raced. Starting a war here. The slightest move could change everything. It would definitely lead to a world war. In terms of military strength, we didn't bring a large force with us. Even if I could escape, the church would suffer heavy losses, and they would surely hold me responsible. After a moment's thought, he had to accept the reality. He turned to leave. As for that kid, the Pope will issue further instructions. But Bai Lai still shot a murderous look back. Your Jiuzhou will surely pay a heavy price. Seeing that he had given up, Luo Tian hurriedly ordered the medical teams. Provide immediate first aid to those injured at the assembly. Then transfer them to major hospitals. Do not delay. Fei Yu then walked over to his side. Although the church and the pantheon have left, their people are still here. Luo Tian turned and gave him some advice. Kid, this isn't the place to talk. Come with me to the military barracks. It's better. As Fei Yu had just taken a step, he suddenly stepped on something. It triggered an illusion right in front of him. This was the scene. Before him was a desolate forest, with mist that had not yet dissipated. Fei Yu looked down at the system panel before him. Welcome to the Lord God's space. Detection indicates Neza is waiting outside. Does the Lord God's space grant him entry? Fei Yu smirked and quickly agreed. The Lord God's space system. Looks like this is my golden finger. Let him in. Neza entered from outside and knelt on one knee. Hi, immortal. Why have you summoned this lowly immortal? He cleared his throat twice and voiced his suspicion. I called out your name at your stone statue in Jiuzhou and received your inheritance. Then you appeared. But there's one thing I don't understand. Neza's brows furrowed, listening intently to Fei Yu's every word. For the past several hundred years in Jiuzhou, why haven't any of your stone statues descended? Neza began to explain. 1,000 years ago, a rift appeared on the other side of the starry sky. A large number of primordial beasts and aberrants poured out from the rift, trying to attack Blue Star. All the gods of the east and west set out to intercept the aberrants and primordial beasts as the main force. We eastern gods simply don't have the strength to return. The western gods, having lost the power of faith, their combat power declined, becoming the logistical force. They used meteorites to create stone statues and returned to Blue Star to restore their faith, starting to catch up to the Eastern gods. We were only thinking of giving it a try when we sent down a stone statue. We thought no one would recognize it. Who would have thought the High Immortal would call out my true name? Neza was incredibly grateful and appreciative. High Immortal, thank you for calling out my true name, allowing me to receive the power of faith. I implore you, High Immortal, to spread the names and deeds of my comrades in arms, to help us defeat the aberrants and primordial beasts soon. He then took out a rare, golden medicinal pill. High Immortal, this is a 9-turn golden pill refined by Lao Jun. It is very beneficial for cultivation. Please, High Immortal, you must accept it. Fei took the pill and gave a thumbs up in thanks. Many thanks. If you need anything in the future, just call my name. We'll meet here again. He didn't want to waste any more time here and told Neza to leave. You should return. The war is more important. Farewell. As soon as Neza left, he quickly popped the pill into his mouth. Why does he keep calling me High Immortal in the Lord God's space? You are the great Tao of heaven and earth. Even Hong Jun or other great powers must respectfully call you High Immortal. The pill traveled straight down to his heart. It caused his chest to glow brightly, and a strange power surged from within. The pill was gradually merging with Fei Yu's blood vessels. That power exploded, causing him to feel a sharp pain. Congratulations, host, for advancing to the peak of martial apprentice. Fei Yu's eyes flew open, glowing with light. So hot. Outside, Luo Tian had led him to the military barracks. We've arrived at the barracks because Fei Yu had swallowed that pill. His body was now burning like a furnace, so he hurriedly searched for a source of water. Where's the water? Go straight to the end, turn right, there's a swimming pool 20 meters away. Just then, someone walked up to Luo Tian's side and asked what's wrong with him. Fei Yu quickly found a very large swimming pool. He breathed a sigh of relief. Thank goodness. Without even taking off his clothes, Fei Yu jumped straight into the pool. Suddenly, in the middle of the vast pool, a bright golden light appeared. Fei Yu's body absorbed all the water in the swimming pool. Congratulations, host, for breaking through to the peak of martial master. Luo Tian, who witnessed the scene, was too shocked to speak. Peak of martial master. He jumped 2 levels in just a few short minutes. After leveling up twice, his body was now quite exhausted. A bird was perched on a tree branch, continuously chirping. Haha, excellent. Fei Yu's progress is astonishing. A camera had been hidden inside it to watch him. It's all just good luck. It turned out, a member of the Pope's faction had secretly planted a hidden camera to monitor him, jumping 2 levels in just a few short minutes. He was Pope Augura. His face showed a hint of apprehension. But he's just a martial master. This person cannot be allowed to live. Luo Tian encouraged Fei Yu before he went on stage. Fei Yu, are you ready? Jiuzhou's god, Neza press conference. Fei Yu was briefed very carefully before going out to face everyone. The purpose of this meeting is to declare to the world that we, Jiuzhou, have a god, and that Neza is the god of Jiuzhou. Remember these 2 points. His eyes were calm and confident as he replied to Luo Tian's words. Don't worry, brother Luo. I have my own way. He then flicked 2 fingers. I'm just afraid that Bai Lai's group will also attend this meeting. I fear they might do something reckless. I hope Brother Luo can help me. It was time for the press conference. The hall was in an uproar as Fei Yu walked out. Mr. Zhao Fei Yu, right now, the entire internet is saying that Jiuzhou's god is just a subordinate of the Western gods. Is this true? Can this meeting truly shatter the perception that Jiuzhou has no gods? Mr. Zhao Fei Yu. Is Neza an incarnation of the Archangel of Light? When do you plan to return the god? Mr. Zhao Fei Yu. Amidst the clamor of the crowd, he calmly walked up to the podium, ready to speak. Fei Yu lightly adjusted the tie on his shirt. He's clearly a Western god, but they're claiming him as their own. So shameless. This guy named Zhao Fei Yu is just putting on a show. Everyone in the Jiuzhou military has been fooled. The faith of the church and the pantheon is unshakable. This clown Zhao Fei, you will have to face the consequences alone. Luo Tian, standing inside the hall, had already anticipated these events in his heart. I already predicted this place would be chaotic, but I didn't expect these traitors who bite the hand that feeds them to be so loud. Fei Yu, you have to stay strong. Bai Lai, sitting below, looked up at the stage with a gloomy expression. Moreover, the people present today are all people we carefully selected. Let's see how you're going to get out of this. He adjusted his attire and began to speak. Regarding the divine inheritance from a few days ago, I believe everyone has already heard about it. He silently commanded the system in his mind. System, prepare to replay history. Understood. Fei Yu now took command of the microphone. Regarding whether Neza is truly a god of Jiuzhou, or whether Jiuzhou truly has a god, I believe everyone already has an answer in their hearts. Seeing is believing. I think no matter how you distort the truth, you cannot disbelieve your own eyes. Bai Lai, sitting below, was drenched in sweat. He felt that something was wrong. Not good. What is this guy planning to do? Fei Yu summoned a great dragon for everyone to see. Well then, please witness this. He explained the scene appearing in the hall. What you are seeing is Neza's disturbance of the sea from Jiuzhou mythology. Li Jing, hand over Neza. Otherwise, I will sink Chuntang Pass in water and let you and its countless people die with my son. Neza arrogantly replied, Old beast, your son was full of sin, harming the people. Killing him was to rid the world of a menace. If you want revenge, come find me. Why are you making things difficult for my parents? The old dragon's eyes narrowed as he said angrily, You killed my son. Your parents can't escape blame either. Killing you is the same as killing them. Annoyed by the old man's words, he said, Fine then, I, Neza, shall carve my flesh for my mother, and flay my bones for my father. From this day on, I, Neza, will have no connection to those two anymore. Bai Lai, sitting below, couldn't contain himself any longer. He jumped to his feet. No one look. This is magic. This is the magic of the god of Jiuzhou. He found the man's words amusing and replied, Oh, Jiuzhou's magic? Has Cardinal Bai Lai already acknowledged that Jiuzhou has a god? Then, the person behind him then asked, If Neza is a Western god, why are his parents from Jiuzhou? This is definitely not magic. I feel like I'm really there. I can even feel the cold rain falling. The great god of the three altars of the sea assembly has no connection whatsoever to the West. Balai couldn't stand these words any longer. He shouted angrily, "Silence! According to the holy scriptures, all things in the world were created by God." He relentlessly tried to manipulate everyone in the hall. Whether east or west, all were created by God. Even if the Archangel of Light is a god born in Jojo, he was still created by God. Is the Archangel of Light under God's command? That ridiculous explanation made Fei Yu smirk. How ridiculous! The Western theory of creation? He mocked the man's words. The West is just a barren land abandoned by the Eastern gods. He wouldn't accept being humiliated. Nonsense. Do you think spouting nonsense will make it the truth? Show me the proof. A slight smile touched his lips, as if he had been waiting a long time for those words. Proof? Very well. I'll give it to you right now, great cardinal. Prepare yourself. Fei Yu pointed a single finger to the sky. Then let's see. The first chapter of Jojo mythology. Pangu creates the heavens and the earth. Quickly, everyone was shown. The first chapter of Jojo mythology. It began with a giant hand reaching for something. That hand grasped a colossal axe and raised it. A dark night was slowly enveloping, the orbs floating in the sky. Gong Gong angrily smashes into Mount Bujo. The Dragon Sea is violently breaking rocks. Beneath the churning clouds, in the sky was a hole, neither big nor small. Then, Nuwa creates humans and mends the sky. Hoi shoots down the suns. The man was using his bow and arrow, aiming at a fire eagle. Then, back to reality. Fei Yu spread his arms wide and declared, "The gods of my Jojo have come to reclaim their name." The crowd below still couldn't believe it. Jojo has gods. Jojo really has gods? Only then did the crowd start cheering, "Jojo has gods! Jojo has gods!" In the darkness behind the stage, an arrow was aimed straight at Fei Yu. That golden arrow pierced through the cheers of the crowd, flying straight towards where he stood. The arrowhead was rapidly approaching Fei Yu. Luo Tian behind the stage shouted, "Fei Yu, watch out!" Outside the tall buildings, an incredibly sharp weapon was hurtling forward. From within the smoke, a voice rang out. "Is this a god from the Pantheon, sneaking around and shooting arrows like a thief?" Luo Tian already knew who it was. "Who's the culprit?" "Apollo, you are shameless." He just stood there silently, watching without a word. Apollo stood from above, looking down at Zhao Fei Yu, and relentlessly spouted harsh words. Zhao Fei Yu used demonic words to bewitch the crowd, using hypnotic magic for brainwashing. "I just wanted to put an end to this farce." Hearing this, Fei Yu spoke with a hint of accusation. "And it? You call this ending it? This is clearly murder." He still replied, stubbornly and arrogantly, "Say whatever you want. The farce is over now, and there are no casualties. What more do you want?" Apollo turned and left with Bai Lai. "It seems you people have nothing left to kill. Let's go." A voice came through Luo Tian's earpiece. "Are they all gone?" He replied as he walked. "Yes, Your Majesty." Regarding what Zhao Fei Yu demonstrated just now, Yu Xiao on the other end replied, "I saw everything, every last bit of it clearly." She stood up and paced a few steps as she replied to Luo Tian, "Jiuzhou has gods now, and countless deities at that. This is a great opportunity for the people of Jiuzhou to abandon their Western beliefs." Yu Xiao's eyes turned cold at this moment. She spoke her mind. If from now on, the people of Jiuzhou only believe in the gods of Jiuzhou, then the rise of Jiuzhou is only a matter of time. I want to meet him. Arrange for him to return to the military barracks. As for coming to the capital to see me, I will send someone to arrange it. Luo Tian received her order and nodded. Yes, understood. The next morning, at the Jiuzhou military barracks, Fei Yu sat in his room, practicing Qigong. Streams of water continuously evaporated, forming a circle around his body. While practicing Qigong, spiritual energy was constantly being absorbed into his body. Zhao Fei Yu, seventh body tempering began. A vortex appeared in the middle of the room. It was incredibly powerful. That vortex sent droplets of water splashing all over his face. Fei Yu pushed off and jumped up. The system appeared. "Congratulations, host, for successfully completing the seventh body temper. You have reached the early stage martial sovereign realm. Congratulations, host, for unlocking the ground shrinking technique. Horizon in a step." Fei Yu asked while wiping his face. "Oh, tell me, what kind of technique is this?" The system explained. "The so-called ground shrinking is a divine ability of space folding. When cultivated to its limit, A single step can cover 10,000 li. He listened to the system's explanation while putting on his shirt. However, with the host's current cultivation, each step can only cover a little over 100 meters. That's enough. Even if it's just 100 meters per step, it's still an ultimate skill for escaping. Suddenly, an unexpected voice came from outside the door. Feiyu, Luo Tian, entered with a stranger. So it's brother Luo Tian. And this is... The man stepped forward to introduce himself. Allow me to introduce myself. I'm the governor of this province, Zhang Shunshan. The two of them shook hands. Comrade Zhao Feiyu, thank you for proving the existence of Jiuzhou's gods. As Jiuzhou rises, you will be its greatest hero. Not at all. As a part of Jiuzhou, it's what I ought to do. Xingchuan's eyes held a shrewd glint. Then I'll be direct, Comrade Feiyu. Governor, please speak freely. He stated his intention. Are you interested in the capital city? Would you like to take a trip to the capital with me? Feiyu received the offer, his expression slightly uneasy. The capital? I'm quite interested, but why ask me to go at this time? He gave a cunning smile. Because, in the capital, there's a very important person who's interested in you. Meanwhile, the Pope. At this moment, a subordinate came in to report to him. Your Holiness, you sent for me? Augura replied while gazing at a painting. You've returned. You must have seen everything. His brows furrowed in annoyance as he spoke. Jiuzhou has no gods. The Western creation myth has been passed down for hundreds of years. Hundreds of years. It was shattered by that brat in just a few days. Do you know what this means? The two bowed their heads, not daring to look up. This subordinate does not know. Augura turned and said with displeasure, I will personally issue the holy edict of the three altars sea assembly. The great God is the great archangel of light under God. He is now revered by the people of Jiuzhou, yet he intends to establish himself as a king in Jiuzhou. This is a betrayal against God. Jiuzhou and even the entire East are subordinate to the West. They can only provide an endless source of faith for the gods of the West. The appearance of Zhao Feiyu is the first shot. He is the first, but he certainly won't be the last. From now on, the power of Western faith will continue to decline, and our strength will also plummet. Augura harbored a deep hatred for Feiyu. If he cannot be used by my church, Zhao Feiyu will sooner or later become a disaster, shaking the prestige of the Western gods. His face contorted as he spoke. Then it's better to let him die here. Wouldn't that be more satisfying? His expression shifted continuously. Bailai and Apollo are in a foreign land. Despite their great strength, they suffer from a lack of support. Both of their attempts were thwarted by Luo Tian. Now, I want you to go help them kill the great archangel of light. Hades received the order, his eyes filled with anticipation. You will take 10 sky knights and kill the great archangel. At this moment, Augura's anger was at its peak. This time, no matter the cost, I must have Zhao Feiyu's head. You must remember this for me. I don't care about the casualty count. I only want that Zhao Feiyu's life. Yes, your subordinate understands. At this, he leaned close to Hades' face and said, Do you really understand? Repeat the mission for me one more time, Hades. Hades looked at him with cold eyes. I swear in the name of God, I will definitely kill Zhao Feiyu. The plane carrying Feiyu flew through the blue sky, filled with sunlight. He and Luo Tian sat in the same row. Feiyu comfortably looked out the window. How nice. What are you referring to? He leaned to look at the fluffy white clouds. It's the feeling of sitting on a plane, seeing the rivers and mountains of Jiuzhou. It brings a sense of peace, as if the motherland is still whole. Luo Tian, beside him, frowned in displeasure. It's just an illusion, as long as we cannot eliminate the Western gods parasitizing Jiuzhou. Jiuzhou will forever belong to the West. Suddenly, a red system warning appeared before his eyes. It's only a matter of time. Warning. Feiyu's brows furrowed as he saw the red warning. Enemy church attack in 5, 4, 3. He suddenly jumped up, pulling Luo Tian aside. Trouble. Ambush from the church. The plane was suddenly attacked, an explosion echoing through the sky, sending him and Luo Tian reeling inside the plane. The once peaceful plane was suddenly attacked and exploded in the vast sky. It was like a rocket trailing a plume of smoke. The church members were satisfied with their ambush on Feiyu. This isn't enough to kill Zhao Feiyu. One of them, standing next to Hades, spoke up. He has Luo Tian with him. It's definitely not a fatal blow. They decided to attack one more time, causing the plane to explode in the sky. Let's finish it for good. Suddenly, Hades spotted a dazzlingly bright object speeding towards him. He realized it was the tip of Luo Tian's sword. Not good. He was wounded on the face by Luo Tian's sword strike. Luo Tian's surprise attack was deflected, sending him backward. Without another word, he continued to attack him with his powerful energy. Luo Tian shouted in fury, "You shameless people from the church! Hades, you've really got some nerve. Daring to assassinate someone in my Jiuzhou." His eyes glowed purple as he arrogantly replied, "Worthy of a name, Luo Tian. But so what if I kill someone? The church can kill any heretic it pleases." Fei Yu then appeared behind Luo Tian to support him. "Brother Luo Tian, I've already sent Governor Zhang Shengchen away. You should go with me quickly." He refused, insisting on staying to fight Hades to the end. "What are you doing back here? Their target is you. Go quickly." Seeing him, the enemies were like sharks smelling blood, rushing forward as if starved for years. "You're only brave on your home turf, only bold in your own territory. Today, I'll see how many more. Luo Tian's, you have to protect you. Kill him for me." They pointed their swords at him. Luo Tian gritted his teeth in anger. Secret technique, burning potential, green attacks like a dragon, continuously coiled and struck the church members, catching them off guard. Hades stood to the side, gathering power for his final move. Some secret technique? Who doesn't have one? Luo Tian stood to one side, and seeing Hades' body ignite in flames, he shouted urgently, "Not good. That's holy chant. This move is one of the strongest single-target attacks of the church. You have to go now. I'll hold them here." Fei Yu refused to leave. "This isn't the time for a head-on confrontation, Brother Luo." He turned back and said angrily, "This is a technique of holy light descending from the heavens. Can you run faster than light? Stop wasting time. Go now." Hades smirked sinisterly, clasping his hands. "Pay attention." Luo Tian grew more anxious. "Oh no, there's no time left." Fei Yu stood beside Luo Tian and grabbed his shoulder. Ground shrinking. Hades successfully executed his secret technique. A giant pillar of light descended from the sky. He panted heavily as someone came and asked, "Did it hit?" Hades' face was filled with fury. How could they have escaped? They were faster than my holy light. Meanwhile, Fei Yu had successfully teleported Luo Tian and himself to another place. The capital. "We've arrived." Luo Tian couldn't believe his eyes. How is this possible? What kind of divine ability is this? As soon as the two landed in the capital, someone approached them. "You've finally arrived. I've already notified the army. They will escort us from now on." Zhang Xingshun waved at the two. "Governor Zhang, could it be that you were also brought by Zhao Fei Yu?" "That's right, and the captain, along with the flight attendants." Fei Yu grabbed our shoulders, and in a flash, we were here. Luo Tian looked at the man standing beside him with admiration. "That's truly incredible." He was covered in sweat, but still managed to give a thumbs up. "This kid's future is immeasurable." Luo Tian also gave a thumbs up. "Let's go, Fei Yu. The road ahead will surely be smooth. We're going to the capital to meet the sovereign." Luo Tian and Fei Yu entered the palace. Luo Tian pays his respects, Your Majesty. Your subordinate has brought Zhao Fei Yu. He entered with a look of astonishment, gazing at the gleaming golden objects before him. "My goodness, so magnificent." Yu Xiao stood behind a golden screen, her silhouette the only thing visible. "Understood. You may withdraw." Luo Tian hesitated, not wanting to leave just yet. "Your Majesty, I have something to report." "Speak." He recounted the dangerous situation they had just faced. "On the way, we were ambushed by the church. The churches by Lai and Hades were also there." She replied calmly, "Oh, you were able to escape unscathed?" "It was Zhao Fei Yu who used a divine ability. 100 li in a single step, he brought us to the capital." Those words surprised Yu Xiao. 100 li in a single step? Luo Tian clasped his hands and bowed, affirming, "It's true. Yes. To be precise, it was more like 200 or 300 li in one step." That ability truly impressed her. "Mr. Zhao, this divine ability is indeed formidable." After he finished speaking, he left the two to talk. "Your Majesty," Luo Tian takes his leave. Fei Yu then spoke up. "It's a type of space compression divine ability. I haven't fully mastered it yet." Yu Xiao stepped forward and asked him, "Do all the gods of our Jiuzhou possess such divine abilities?" He spoke proudly. "Of course. Their divine abilities and magic treasures are unparalleled. With a lift of a hand, they can shatter the stars. With a wave of a hand, they can destroy all things. She glided step by step towards Fei Yu. Yu Zhao's gaze fell on him as she asked, "Our gods of Jiuzhou, compared to the Western gods, are they stronger?" Fei Yu affirmed with certainty that they are stronger. "That is a matter of course." She then sat down on her bronze throne. "Mr. Zhao, do you know why this queen has summoned you?" "I do not." Suddenly, a virtual screen appeared in the air. On the screen were lush green mountains. A few days ago, in the southwest region of Jiuzhou, in the ancient Shenanjia mountain area, there appeared a mysterious phenomenon. She wanted to invite him to go with her to that beautiful mountainous place. It's currently unclear whether it's a rare treasure or a stone statue. Whatever it may be, Mr. Zhao, I must trouble you to accompany this queen on a trip. Hearing this, Fei Yu had a blank look on his face. Scene changed to a forest. Two complaining voices could be heard. "Why are we still in such a remote place? If I'd known, I wouldn't have come. No news, no signal at all. Quiet. Get the camera equipment ready now. If we miss this broadcast, we won't get another chance in a lifetime." Elsewhere, a crowd had already gathered. The red-haired leader was from the Pantheon. Ares II. He stepped forward and said irritably, "Hey, get out of the way. Why are you in Jiuzhou?" Then he turned and sighed. "You all got here fast." Ares looked at Hyder and asked hurriedly, "Hey, why didn't Jia Boli from the church come, Hyder?" He replied with a grim, annoyed expression. "Jia Boli was sent on another mission. I just happened to be nearby." "So what? You miss him?" Ares grinned from ear to ear. "Last time we missed the divine statue, and Queen El was very displeased. How about this, Brother Hyder? Have some pity and help us out. Could you let us have this statue?" Neither of the two would yield. "Sorry, I can't do that. I still needed to report back to the church." Suddenly, a loud noise echoed through the forest. The sound startled them both. "What's that noise?" They looked up. It was a helicopter, its blades chopping the air, preparing to land. Ares watched the helicopter with a serious face. "Jiuzhou sent people too. This is going to get lively." 2 rows of guards stood before the door. As the helicopter slowly landed in the clearing, the 2 rows of guards shouted in unison, "We welcome the Empress." Yu Xiao's gaze was somewhat cold as she surveyed the scene before her. "All right, such a grand spectacle. I can tell you the one behind this, right? Zhang Chuanjia." The man's face was fixed in a sinister grin. "Governor General of the Southwest, Zhang Chuanjia. At your service, Empress. We have considered it. Whether it's a divine statue or a supreme treasure, it will all be announced tomorrow." "Very good. Take me there to have a look." Without another word, he gestured with his hand this way as she walked over the scene. Before her was a pillar of light that pierced through the very sky. Seeing it in person is truly magnificent. Suddenly, at that moment, the people from the church and the Pantheon approached, issuing an arrogant warning. "Hey, this place as of now is under the control of my church and the Pantheon. All irrelevant personnel, get lost. Otherwise, don't blame us for being impolite." The corners of Yu Xiao's mouth twitched into a disdainful smile at their words. Taken over? She was furious. This is the sovereign land of Jiuzhou. Since when was it taken over by the church and the Pantheon? She quickly lashed out and attacked the 2 of them. "Calm down." Yu Xiao's delicate feet stepped forward, as if to trample them underfoot. "Remember this. This is the territory of Jiuzhou." She spoke with great arrogance. Even if Aurora herself came, she would have to bow to me. Wasting no more words on them, Yu Xiao prepared to leave. "Let's go." But her cold gaze fell upon the statue. "This divine statue. I will definitely obtain it." The news sent shockwaves through the press. A reporter quickly appeared at the site of the light pillar. "That light. This is a live broadcast brought to you by BBTV from the vast forests of Shenanjia. We can see an auspicious light enveloping the area, with dragons and phoenixes crying out. Just what kind of being could cause such a phenomenon upon its emergence?" Then the camera panned to where Fei Yu, Luo Tian, and Yu Xiao were standing. "That's the Empress of Jiuzhou, Dongfang. Yu Xiao. She has also arrived at the scene." At this moment, her calm eyes looked up. "It's coming." The pillar of light intensified, bathing the entire clearing in its glow, accompanied by plumes of rising smoke. The smoke danced like a dragon and phoenix around the pillar. Then the pillar plunged straight down into the ground. The forest was now filled with smoke from the recent tremor. Yu Xiao stood amidst the smoke, squinting as she gazed at the scene ahead. She suddenly lowered her hand, looking at the statue with caution. Just then, Yu Xiao asked, "Mr. Zhao, is this deity one of our Jiuzhou gods?" Beside her, Fei Yu chuckled to himself. "That is the Queen Mother of the West. The Golden Mother, Wang Jiaozhi, of course." Yu Xiao's gaze darkened as she turned her head to look, then asked him, "You know its name?" He replied cheerfully, "Of course." The dust and smoke obscured everyone, revealing only their silhouettes. "It seems so," Hyder and the people from the church announced arrogantly. "Another divine statue for our church." Yu Xiao replied proudly, "You're speaking too soon." Ares, standing nearby, spoke with contempt. "Don't pop the champagne mid-battle only to get slapped in the face." Lord Hyder. At this, his face took on a somewhat sinister look as he hesitated. But he looked towards the three, Fei Yu, Yu Xiao, and Luo Tian. "Since this is Jiuzhou's home turf, and even their empress has come, why don't we let them go first?" Yu Xiao's face darkened and turned slightly pale as he asked, "What do you think, Your Majesty Dongfang?" "Yu Xiao, surely you didn't just come to watch the show, did you? If Jiuzhou's forces can inherit another deity, they'll truly be a tiger that has grown wings." Ares sneered to himself. "She can't possibly have come just to watch the fun. She will definitely try to inherit the deity. When she says the wrong name of the deity, Jiuzhou will be finished." He turned to look at Hyder. "Don't just stand there watching. It's so obvious. Don't you get it? Say something already." Seeing Hyder remain motionless, he coughed twice to signal him. Hearing the cough, Hyder understood and finally spoke up. "Indeed, we should let the hosts make the first move. Besides, the Empress herself is here. How could we possibly go first and snatch away what another desires?" Ares turned his back to the Pantheon crowd and shouted in unison with them, "Come on, let's welcome our host. Chant with me. Dongfang Yu Xiao, Dongfang Yu Xiao." The chanting grew louder and louder. "Dongfang Yu Xiao, Dongfang Yu Xiao." The chant echoed throughout the entire forest. "Dongfang Yu Xiao, Dongfang Yu Xiao." Yu Xiao stood to one side, silent, as she listened to their chanting. "Dongfang Yu Xiao, Dongfang Yu Xiao." Seeing this, Luo Tian stepped forward and said urgently, "Your Majesty, you absolutely must not. The inheritance process is extremely dangerous. If you say the wrong name, I fear it will be a point of no return." She was confident in herself. "Say no more. I trust Mr. Zhao." On the other side, the chanting continued. "Dongfang Yu Xiao, Dongfang Yu Xiao." Inwardly, Hyder and Ares sneered. "She's a dead woman." Yu Xiao stepped forward, placing a hand on her own shoulder, wearing a green dress, and entered the heavenly gate. As she walked, a power coiled around her body. Homage to the mother of Jiaozhi Qi. A pillar of green light flashed, shooting straight up into the white clouded sky. The light was like a sea of rainbows, blending with the white clouds. Lady of Nine Lights, master of the Western Waterine energy. Ares saw the glorious spectacle and couldn't believe his eyes. How can there be such an auspicious aura? Impossible. She actually said the true name. His two companions urgently tried to stop him. "We can't wait any longer. Now's the time. Stop her. Jiuzhou cannot have another deity." Yu Xiao, standing in the center of the green circle, continued to chant the name. "Pinnacle of the flowery cavern, supreme reverence of the resonant Yin grotto." At this moment, she raised her eyes to the sky. Dongfang Yu Xiao respectfully summons Her Majesty, the Queen Mother. Right after she spoke, the pillar of light slammed straight down into the ground, creating an immense sound. It brought with it clouds of smoke that obscured the vision of the group. From a church. "Hyder, how are we supposed to fight this? The church, aren't you going to do something?" He furiously summoned his flaming sword. "It takes time to adapt to a deity's power. Kill them all. Leave no one alive." Seeing them about to attack, Luo Tian shouted, "Protect the Empress." The two sides quickly clashed in battle. "Kill." Hyder created a flaming shield for himself, flying through obstacles and charging straight at Yu Xiao. These guards are all useless. He approached, looking at her as she levitated in the sky, his voice filled with hatred. "To catch the bandits, you must first catch the king." Luo Tian, seeing his intent to attack, quickly blocked his path. His eyes were filled with hatred. "Don't even think about getting near the Empress." A smirk played on Hyder's lips. "My lord, have you ever heard the saying, 3 men make a tiger?" Ares charged towards Yu Xiao from behind. "If you stop me, who's going to stop Ares?" His face was full of contempt as he looked at Luo Tian. Hyder sneered. At that sight, he turned and hurriedly shouted, "Not good. Stop, Ares. Feiyu appeared out of nowhere, blocking his attack. Shu Dian Chung Tun. The sword grazed a small cut across his cheek. The wound quickly oozed a gray substance, but that didn't make him back down. Instead, he moved closer and spoke into her ear. Sister Yu Xiao, if you don't wake up, we're all done for. Ares laughed like a madman. Haha, the successor of Neza. A pity your cultivation isn't high enough. Let me see how many of my moves you can take. His body suddenly erupted with power, enveloped in flames. Secret technique. Body of the war, God Ares. The destructive force blasted out into the air. War god's blood tribute. Feiyu's eyes flashed with light. The flames. Not good. His secret technique created a massive shockwave. It kicked up a cloud of dust, obscuring the figures of Feiyu. And Yu Xiao, inside the dust cloud. She had used her power to shield him. At this moment, Yu Xiao raised her sword high into the sky. Soldiers of Jiuzhou, hear my command. Retreat. Ares taunted her upon hearing the order to retreat. Empress Dongfang Yu Xiao Jiuzhou. I am Ares, successor of the god of war from the pantheon. A pleasure, but forgive me for being blunt. Can you possibly handle all of us by yourself? That might be a bit difficult. In her heart, she was worried for everyone. Everyone is almost at their limit. Suddenly, at that moment, she unleashed her power. She initiated a formation, and an yin-yang diagram appeared in the large forest. Yu Xiao levitated in the sky, chanting the command, subtle, oh so subtle, the subtlety within subtlety. Profound, oh so profound, the profundity beyond profundity. Spoken words explain the Tao. Silent words reveal the divine. Hyder, down below, hastily tried to stop her. It's a barrier. We're trapped in here. Ares had no time for nonsense. Finish her quickly. The two of them combined their power, chanting incantations. God of war, great Ares, I beseech you, lend me your strength. As the moon wanes, so success is achieved, returning beyond the material. To enter the great, overarching heaven. Ares and Hyder shouted in unison. Secret technique, Crimson Starfall. Secret technique, Holy Psalm. Two fireballs shot forward, rushing towards Yu Xiao with incredible speed to finish her. The corners of her mouth were still muttering the incantation. Heavenly thunder, earthly fire, crimson blood. The power. It slammed straight into the ground, creating a circular shockwave that echoed through the forest. His face pale and ashen. Oh my God. Where Ares and Hyder combined their attack, they had created a bottomless pit. Oh heavens. At that moment, at the papal court, an angry voice rang out, followed by a book slamming onto the ground. What did you say? Hyder. Aurora was furious upon hearing the report. Lord Hyder, during this mission, was sacrificed by the spell cast by Empress Dongfang Yu Xiao Jiuzhou. He truly felt an immense headache and anger. I know. Say no more. What's the report on the war with the Sea Tribe? His subordinate handed him a stack of papers. It's all in here. All right, you may leave. Aurora picked up the thick stack of papers and began to read. Right now, I must focus on dealing with the overwhelming attack from the Sea Tribe. I really don't have time to deal with Jiuzhou right now. At this, a smirk played on his lips. A sinister smile. Two deities, so what? As long as the people of Jiuzhou. You people still believe in the Western gods. His eyes filled with killing intent. We will continuously receive the power of faith from Jiuzhou. Our gods. We have long taken root in the hearts of the Jiuzhou people. No matter how many new gods Jiuzhou produces, it will all be for nothing. In the capital city at this time, everyone in the meeting room was extremely anxious. No, absolutely not. Changing faith is extremely dangerous. How can we put Jiuzhou's main fighting force in such danger? The atmosphere inside the meeting room was incredibly gloomy. Now is the most critical time. We've already cut ties with the West. We no longer have the time or resources to hesitate. Now is the time to change our faith. Yu Xiao looked outside, her heart full of thoughts. Be quiet. What do you think, Zhao Feiyu? He sat to one side, looking at his phone as he replied. From my perspective, the situation isn't that serious. Feiyu showed them his phone. On the screen was an online poll. Public opinion is debating whether, now that Jiuzhou has its own gods, we should change our faith. You see, many influential figures have organized votes, and the results show that the majority supports changing our faith, now that Jiuzhou has its gods. He posed some persuasive questions. Furthermore, the church is busy fighting the sea tribe. It's just as the saying goes, when your enemy is in trouble, seize the opportunity. If we don't change our faith now, what are we waiting for? Are you all willing to be cowards under the thumb of the West? The look in his eyes reassured everyone. Even if it's dangerous, it's worth a try. Yu Xiao turned her head and quickly agreed. I agree with Zhao Feiyu's point of view. Then it's decided. Prepare 4,000 elite soldiers. Gather at the barracks tomorrow. Very quickly, the soldiers had gathered at the main barracks. Luo Tian, standing next to Feiyu, suddenly felt something was off. Can you feel it? Zhao Feiyu looked at Luo Tian's expression, puzzled. What has he realized? The spies planted inside the barracks. Western spies. From the church, from the Mount of Gods, they're all here. They're hiding behind the dark walls. They can become invisible and conceal their auras. Each one is a master at the martial grandmaster level. Feiyu whispered, asking if he wanted to deal with them. We wouldn't be able to get them all. They're like cockroaches. Kill one, and a new one will just pop up. Luo Tian decided not to attack them. Just let them watch. Let them witness the rise of Jojo with their own eyes. Yu Xiao quickly spoke up. Today, none of you fear death. You have gathered here for the sole purpose of changing our faith. From now on, we will believe only in the gods of Jojo. Her expression turned solemn as she spoke to the crowd. Jojo has its own gods. The people of Jojo should also have their own faith. From this day forward, Jojo will no longer be manipulated by anyone. To the tens of thousands of soldiers, she yelled, Gods of Jojo! Gods of Jojo! At that moment, Yu Xiao pointed to the colorful gemstone beside her. We have refined this god statue crystal. You only need to face the god statue crystal and devoutly call the name of a god, and your faith will be changed. She looked expectantly at the stone. Now, who will be the first? Just then, Luo Tian stepped forward, wanting to lead the way. I'll go. But suddenly, a frail voice stopped him. Luo Tian, step back. It was the late-stage martial grandmaster, Senior Li Buoyang. He stepped forward. You are the strongest in Jojo, a once-in-a-century genius. You are a treasure to our army. We cannot afford to lose you. With that, Li Buoyang approached the stone. As for me, I'm just an old man with one foot in the grave. After a lifetime of cultivation, I'm still just an ordinary martial grandmaster. For something like this, I should be the one to set an example. He quickly gave the order, begin. His lips moved, softly saying, Neza. The moment he spoke the name, the stone erupted in light, releasing an immense power. It caused him to scream out. He looked to be in excruciating pain. The white light completely obscured Li Buoyang's face. Soon, only a pair of hands reaching for the stone remained visible. In the middle of the assembly hall, a pillar of light from the stone shot up towards the sky, unleashing tremendous power. As the smoke began to clear, a blurry figure could be seen standing within it. Fingers were gradually revealed as the smoke dispersed. Li Buoyang, once an old man, had become a middle-aged man with a full head of black hair. He then knelt before the Empress. Your humble servant, Li Buoyang, has completed the mission. She stared, bewildered, at the face that was both familiar and strange. Rejuvenation. Meanwhile, at the church headquarters, they received the news and were utterly shocked. What did you say? Rejuvenation. And his cultivation level even broke through? To the martial saint level, Bailey listened with suspicion. That's right. The subordinate raised a hand to pinch the bridge of his nose. Report this news to His Holiness the Pope at once. But the subordinate continued. But, Your Eminence, His Holiness Pope Jojo is currently busy with the Sea clan's invasion. I'm afraid he doesn't have time. He waved a hand dismissively and turned to leave. Never mind. You're dismissed. I will report to the Pope myself. At that moment, his body radiated killing intent. The Church will absolutely not allow a new power to share the power of faith. It seems the war between us and Jojo is about to begin. In the Pope's magnificent palace, Algora stood looking at a painting, speaking of the recent losses. How many years has it been? This is the first time we, the 12 principal gods, have suffered such a heavy loss. He spoke with a voice full of deep resentment. Hyder was my most capable subordinate, and yet he was killed in that savage land of Jojo. The 12 principal gods are now only 11. We cannot simply stand by and do nothing. Then, Algora turned and addressed his subordinates. This is the very reason I have summoned all of you angels here today. Bailey, standing to the side, spoke up. Are you suggesting we declare war? Algora shot back. Do you have another way to curb the rapid development of Jojo? Bailey's eyes darkened, filled with killing intent. No, I'm just worried the Sea Clan will take this opportunity to attack. Declaring war now would mean fighting on two fronts. We may not be able to cope. Suddenly, someone with a grim expression walked over. So, Lord Bailey's intention is to let Jojo develop unchecked and raise a tiger to bite us later? A woman with green hair and one I stepped forward. Apologies, I've just returned from the Sea Clan front. I'm late. The men on both sides were delighted. You've arrived at the perfect time, Uriel. You are one of the 12 principal gods of heaven. Your experience and combat skills far surpass anyone else present. This time, I spared no expense pulling you from the front lines, precisely for this matter. As soon as Uriel arrived, Algora explained the situation. According to our inside sources, Jojo has obtained the essence of the two god statues that were in their capital. From today, issue an ultimatum to Jojo. They are to hand over the essence of the two god statues. Otherwise, we will dispatch 200,000 celestial troops to flatten Jojo. At this, the corners of her mouth curled into a sinister smile. Haha, your holiness. I hear that. All of Jojo is currently in the process of changing its faith. For every minute and second we stand here talking, the power of our faith is draining away. Bailey, beside her, retorted. You can't possibly mean... Uriel explained Jojo's situation. Jojo having its own gods isn't the main concern. What we must guard against is the decline of our faith's power. Right now, Jojo has forced us into a race against time. We fundamentally no longer have time to negotiate with Jojo. Her face was sinister, her killing intent immense. I propose we declare war immediately to halt the decline of our faith's power. The situation is critical. Immediately, Algora agreed with her and quickly issued an order. You have all heard Uriel. Bailey, you will serve as second in command this time. You will accompany Uriel on this campaign. The other gods shall dispatch their elite troops, a total of 200,000 soldiers. Uriel, I'm giving you full command of these 200,000 elite soldiers. His brow was deeply furrowed. All units will prepare. You have 3 days. Then flatten Jojo for me. After receiving the order, Bailey turned to her. Uriel, he began to ask, what is it? This fighting for every second for the power of faith was really just an excuse for your bloodlust, wasn't it? She broke into a wicked smile. An absolute lunatic, he muttered. Meanwhile, outside the capital city, everyone was in a frantic hurry. Damn it, they're not giving us any time to breathe at all. Li Boyang stood with Luo Tian, complaining angrily. After the last battle, the Empress suffered a great loss of vitality and hasn't recovered. Declaring war now is a suicide mission. Luo Tian was worried about the declaration of war. There's no other way. This time, the church has been ruthless. They're giving us no time to prepare for battle. Declaring war so suddenly is like a sneak attack. Inside, Her Majesty Yu Shao, feeling unwell, dismissed the two men. Both of you, leave me. I wish to be alone. Suddenly, she coughed violently. Your Majesty, looking inside, they saw Yu Shao had coughed up a mouthful of fresh blood. She stared at it, her expression unsurprised. Luo Tian rushed in. Your Majesty, elsewhere, Feiyu was constantly working to increase his own power. The system interface appeared. System has detected. Neza and the Queen Mother of the West are waiting outside the space. Does the Master God allow them to enter? Let them in. The Queen Mother of the West and Neza. The two of them quickly strode in. The Queen Mother of the West greeted him as soon as she entered. Hi, immortal. He didn't understand why she had sought him out. Third Prince, Queen Mother of the West, what brings you two here? They presented him with a medicinal pill. Senior, you have recently been gathering faith for us, helping our cultivation to advance. This is a 7-star pill made by my father and I from rare flowers and herbs gathered from other realms, then refined by Lao Jun. Please accept it. Feiyu called Neza over. Hi, immortal. Is something weighing on your mind? He spoke to the two of them with concern. To be honest with you both, the church is pressing in on us. They've brought an elite army of 200,000 to our borders, forcing Jojo to hand over the essence of your two god statues. His eyes were filled with worry. The Empress's vitality was greatly damaged in the last battle, and my own cultivation is insufficient. The combat strength Jojo can muster can be counted on one hand. We are standing on the edge of a precipice. The Queen Mother of the West spoke up. Those Western barbarians are truly detestable. Neza complained angrily. Those mongrel wild gods on the celestial road, they contribute so little, yet they dare to indulge their inheritors, letting them do as they please, and bring harm to Jojo. His eyes were filled with hatred. High Immortal, do not worry. Just accept the battle. I have a way to ensure that their 200,000 strong army will be annihilated no matter how many they send. In Yu Zhao's past, she had been taught with great care. You must remember, you must keep the small embers of Jojo burning. At that time, she looked at the sword with a distant gaze. Fight bravely for this nation until the very last second. Yu Zhao awoke from her daze. Father, but in front of her was Fei Yu. Seeing she was awake, he quickly offered her some water. You're awake. Drink some water. She blushed, looking at the new clothes on her body. Who changed my clothes? He explained awkwardly and flusteredly. I met the Queen Mother of the West in a Master God space and received a supreme grade medicinal pill. When I used my internal energy to help you heal, I had to remove your clothes. But I absolutely did not peek. I swear on all the gods of Jojo. If I peek, then I'll... Seeing his flustered expression, Yu Zhao stopped him. Enough. I don't want to hear it. Fine, if you've come here to laugh at me, then get out. I don't have time to waste chit-chatting with you. Suddenly, 2 streams of tears rolled down her cheeks uncontrollably. The Great War is upon us. To think that after 10,000 long years, Jojo will finally meet its end at my hands. But he was always the one by her side. Don't be hasty. I have come precisely to help you solve this difficulty. What? You still have a way. Fei Yu quickly urged her to change her clothes. Your Majesty, please change your clothes and follow me. The 2 of them arrived at a lush green park, bathed in golden sunlight. Yu Zhao spoke up. I thought you were taking me to some secret base. But it turns out to be a place like this. Let me ask you, can this amusement park save Jojo from its urgent crisis? Of course it can. At this moment, her hand summoned a glowing green sword. Yu Zhao pointed the sword straight at him. Do you think I'm joking with you? She was furious with Fei Yu. The nation is in peril. How can I afford to waste time waiting here? He turned to face Yu Zhao and asked, So, I should just let you cry in the palace from dusk till dawn, and from dawn till dusk. Are you going to cry that 200,000 strong army to death? He looked at her with a gentle gaze. If you want to save Jojo, then follow me. The 2 of them quickly got on the swings, playing like children. Gasp off Fei Yu and Yu Zhao then rode the carousel. He sighed exhausted. Then the 2 of them moved on to the bumper cars. Fei Yu was having the time of his life. Haha, but Yu Zhao's expression was not so joyful. Haha. At this point, she couldn't help but grit her teeth. Then, the 2 of them went on the Ferris wheel. Ever since joining the army, I've never felt so relaxed. Having fun with you has been a blast. Your guards even booked the whole park. The whole amusement park. There's no one else here. Yu Zhao, growing impatient, finally spoke up. We've had enough fun. What is this method to save Jojo? Hurry up and tell me. He hesitated, not wanting to explain. Why are you still asking me? At this point, her anger reached its peak. Enough. I only left the palace with you because you said you had a way. I only played along because you said you had a solution. What is this method to save Jojo? Due to the sudden emotional upset, she coughed 3 times. Yu Zhao coughed up blood. You keep demanding a way to save the nation from me. Every word is a way. You can't stop talking about a way. His gaze darkened as he explained. If a nation must rely on external methods just to stand firm on the international stage, if it must rely on strength that doesn't belong to it just to eke out a living in these chaotic times, for a nation like this to be destroyed might not necessarily be a bad thing. Yu Zhao's gloomy face listened to his words. I ask you, if there's no way out today, will you just surrender without a fight? For the sake of temporary peace, would you offer up the divine essence of Jojo? Is that it? His words made Yu Zhao waver slightly. I won't do that. I will fight, even knowing it's impossible. I will go to the front lines with Luo Tian and Li Sanliang and fight alongside them until the very last drop of my blood. She listened to the words he spoke. You're asking me for a way out? Actually, the answer has always been on your lips. You just don't dare to say it. You're afraid one wrong step will lead to eternal regret. You're afraid that a bloodline of thousands of years will be buried by your hands. At this moment, he brought his face close to hers. But even if you say nothing today, Jojo will still be destroyed. It's just a matter of time. Suddenly, Zhao Fei Yu's eyes turned cold as he said, So, speak that one and only way, instead of dying a slow death. becoming a puppet for others to trample on, being torn apart by others. You might as well say, you shall listen silently to those words. Today, now, right here, she regained her spirit, ready to declare war for Jojo. We fight. Scene changes to the meeting room. Everyone heard this and started questioning incessantly. Fight? With such a disparity in forces, how can we fight? Yu Shao coldly replied to their questions. This is the highest imperial edict in wartime. Those who disobey are undermining the army's morale. They will be executed without mercy. Two of them walked out, muttering as they went. The Empress is truly insane. What's the difference between this and suicide? Suddenly, someone approached the two of them. Everyone, don't panic. What the church wants is the essence of the divine idol. Has everyone forgotten? A stranger had approached them. I have a plan that can truly save Jojo. Gentlemen, who will join me tonight to save this collapsing hall? Night fell. Outside the palace, the lights were still on. Wisps of smoke crept through the windows into the palace. Inside, at the meeting table, everyone was discussing the battle plan. Grand Commander, the Empress wanting to throw an egg against a rock is a very unwise move. Jojo has only gained 2 new deities, and they might even be gods under the command of the Supreme God. Yet she thinks that she can escape the church's control. It's truly ridiculous. Luo Tian, sitting nearby, smirked. That man was still vehemently opposing the plan. We should stage a coup, take control of the capital, declare independence, and surrender to the church. I hope you will reconsider. Grand Commander, as long as you agree, after it's done, we will directly make you the new. He picked up his sharp spear and silently walked over to the man. Without a word, a single slash sent the man's head flying from his neck. Then, all the dissenters were dealt with by him. Within a minute, no need for further consideration. Luo Tian planted his spear on the ground, standing proud and firm. His voice was stern and carried a deathly tone. Traitors, with a great disaster upon us, who dare to disrupt morale, have only one path, death. He stood alone in the middle of a large room, with his weapon. Scene changes. Over here, Wang Shui was staring intently at the screen. On it were infuriating comments. The church's army is considered the strongest force on Lanxing. How can our Jojo possibly win? What on earth is the Empress thinking? Why did she allow this great war? What will happen to the lives of our people in Jojo? Our Jojo is doomed. If they want to fight, let them fight. The people of Jojo have endured for so long. It's time we fought a great war. He slammed his fist in anger. And yet, there's still so much opposition. Is it because they've been kneeling for too long? The Empress single-handedly killed 2 great war saints and over 50 war masters of the fallen kingdom. At this moment, his only hope was in him. Zhao Fei, you will surely be the hope of Jojo. He will save Jojo once again. Wang Shui gazed out the window. I must also do my part. Our Jojo has gods. Why must we worship the barbarian gods of the West? The mountain of the popes was now covered by a thick, cold layer of white snow. They had quickly gathered to attack Jojo. Bai Lai, standing beside Uriel, spoke up. Your Holiness, we are ready. We can depart at any moment. The corner of Pope Aurora's mouth twisted into a sinister, calculating smile. He calculated in his mind. 200,000 flying knights, the most powerful force on Lanxing. They can surely defeat the Empress and Jojo's false deity. Without further ado, he quickly gave the order to his flying knights. Eliminate the heretics. Level Jojo. Depart. Outside Jojo, at this moment, the soldiers had quickly assembled in the cracked, dried desert. People were passing around delicious, fragrant food. Luo Tian looked down below, encouraging himself and everyone else. We will not fail our people. We will return victorious. Li Sanliang then stepped forward to report. According to intelligence, the Pope has mobilized 200,000 Sky Knights. He replied with a frown. With the Sea Tribe's previous threat, the 4 major military camps could only muster 10,000 soldiers. The farewell letters of the 40,000 soldiers have all been written, including mine. Luo Tian was determined to return victorious. You cannot die, sir. If anything happens to you, it will be a huge blow to the officers and soldiers. No one is immortal. Instead of dying at the hands of the Sea Tribe, I'll die at the hands of my fellow Lanxing people. It's quite ironic, actually. Suddenly, there was a loud noise from the sky. It was Yu Shao, along with Zhao Fei Yu, jumping down from a helicopter. She landed directly on the vast ground below. Raise your heads. This queen has come to win a battle, not to hear you read your farewell letters. Luo Tian and Li Sanliang respectfully greeted the empress. We vassals would rather die following the empress. Zhao Feiyu, at her side, said loudly, even if I die in battle, I will not let the enemy harm you. She turned and corrected his words. No one is to die, and you certainly cannot die. In this great war, I've already prepared myself for death. If I die here, all of Jiuzhou will do everything to protect and groom Zhao Feiyu as the new king. Thoughts raced through Yu Zhao's mind. Zhao Feiyu broke the curse of godless Jiuzhou. He is also the hope of Jiuzhou, a once-in-a-millennium martial arts prodigy, and the first inheritor of a deity in Jiuzhou. Seeing his smiling face, she couldn't stop thinking, he will surely lead Jiuzhou to defeat the West, and even the Sea tribe. Swords continuously circled her body. Zhao Feiyu absolutely cannot have any mishaps. Within the fierce Yellow River formation lies tranquility. Its 99 bends concealed creations are. In chaos of threes, thunder and wind are concealed. Yu Zhao's small hand quickly gathered the swords. Then she formed them into a battle formation. Speak not coldly of the cultivator guest. Who says the soul cannot form a sacred core? Suddenly, a power flashed with golden light. Grasp this, and you shall transcend the mortal coil. Only then will you know the heretic path is a flawed design. Yu Shao commanded the tens of thousands of soldiers. Within it, primal heaven's secrets are contained. Mechanisms of life and death, arranged as the 9 palaces and 8 trigrams, are its entry and exit gates. All generals, heed my command. Enter the 9 bends of the Yellow River formation. On the Pope's side, they had also fully assembled their soldiers. Uriel watched disdainfully as the thousands of Jiuzhou soldiers charged. Is that all Jiuzhou sent? How boring. I'm afraid it won't be enough for us to kill our fill. Bai Lai, beside her, seemed to notice something. These Jiuzhou warriors, are they setting up a formation? No matter. In the face of absolute power, all schemes and tricks are meaningless. She excitedly commanded her troops. Crush them. The Pope's soldiers quickly charged forward, as if to devour the Jiuzhou soldiers alive. But as soon as they rode forward, everyone quickly disappeared, leaving them with bewildered faces. What's happening? Where did they go? At that moment, one of them looked up and saw to the side. That Uriel had appeared. Be careful. This is a formation. She advanced, thrusting her spear into the middle of the formation. Don't panic. Follow me. Charge and break the formation. Yu Zhao's eyes, inside the formation, were cold. She looked at them with hateful eyes. She roared and secretly poured more power into the formation. You think this formation is so easy to break? Before them were walking skeletons, and they were crazily charging forward. A pillar of light flashed in the vast sky. It sent the soldiers flying. Don't you dare use dark arts to stop our church's army. Pillars of golden light shone down on the ground, like giant swords, piercing through them. Li Sanliang charged forward, wordlessly engaging Bai Lai in combat. I'm here to deal with you. Luo Tian was furious. Without hesitation, he attacked Uriel directly. It seems the church is nothing special after all. You can't even handle this. A mere formation isn't to be feared. Zhao Feiyu and the Empress were cutting down the church's soldiers with every slash. The two stood back to back, and he hurriedly turned to shout at the Empress. I'll protect you. You just focus on maintaining the formation. No need to be distracted. The soldiers from both sides were continuously charging at each other with an incredibly eager, fighting spirit. Jiuzhou, we cannot suffer humiliation. We would rather fight to the death than surrender. Yu Shao stood in the center of the formation, continuously using her power to maintain it. Suddenly, her body reached its limit, and she coughed up blood. As she fought, she thought to herself, damn it, I'm only in the early stage of a martial emperor. Operating such a large formation is still a bit of a stretch for me. On top of that, the church's assault. I'm afraid this whole formation can't hold on for much longer. Luo Tian saw she was in danger and hurriedly shouted, Empress! It turned out they were secretly launching a sneak attack on her. Be careful! Zhao Feiyu moved a block in front of her, protecting her. The soldiers now roared, protect the Empress! Protect our homeland! Send these barbarians to hell. Luo Tian, Li Sanliang, and Zhao Feiyu. The three of them were fighting with all their might to protect their homeland, while Yu Xiao, standing in the formation, continuously maintained its power. I cannot fall like this. Even if it costs me my life, I must stop the church. The formation's power was enhanced once again. Heaven and earth, three powers formation. Everyone was enveloped in an explosive flame. Li Sanliang was extremely surprised to see that power. This is, Zhao Feiyu thought as he held his spear to their necks. The heaven and earth three powers formation. It can increase the strength of everyone inside the formation, but it causes great harm to the Empress herself. He looked at his battle progress bar with great anxiety. Damn it. The system's progress bar still isn't full. The two sides continue to clash. Bai Lai slashed through the air with his sword, lunging at Li Sanliang. He was furious, looking at the power emanating from Li Sanliang. What kind of dark art is this formation? How can it allow someone who just recently ascended to martial saint? Uriel silently observed every move in the battle. She coldly analyzed the battle. In less than an hour, Jojo has only used 3,000 lives to take 20,000 of the church's people. This won't do. I must break this bizarre formation. She unleashed her power and charged at Luo Tian. Damn Jojo, you will all pay in blood. At this moment, a colossal power descended upon her. Holy light, break the formation that hinders the knights of justice. Pillars of golden light shot down from the sky to the ground below. It's the holy light. Lady Uriel has summoned the holy light. The helicopter in the sky broadcasted the scene. The reporter spoke. Jojo's formation is currently under a powerful attack from the holy light of the church. I wonder what our viewers in the live broadcast room are thinking. Can the Jojo army create a miracle? Or will the church crush them with sheer force? The formation was struck by the holy light, causing it to crack. The formation is about to. The soldiers were utterly shocked, watching the formation being destroyed. Yu Xiao was continuously coughing up large mouthfuls of blood. In less than a minute, the formation was shattered into pieces. This caused the Empress to collapse on the spot. Empress! Zhao Feiyu held her body, screaming. Empress! His system's God Dissension progress bar was still not complete. 80%. But the holy light had wounded the soldiers on Jojo's side, one after another. Seeing their chance, the church's forces charged forward. Charge! Without their sorcery, the Jojo soldiers are nothing but rats. But the soldiers saw them and rallied their spirits. Even without the formation, we must stop the church's hounds. Protect the Empress and our people. They charged on horseback, mowing down anyone who came at them. Charge! A horse trampled a soldier under its hoofs. Jojo is still just a lower class. They can never have a god. Just as its two hooves were about to stomp the soldier to death, it stomped only on sand. Where'd he go? Luo Tian, carrying immense power, along with the soldier who was trampled under that horse's hooves. He was extremely grateful to the one who saved his life, General Luo. Sir, they were charging on their horses, but suddenly stopped. Be careful. Li Balian stood in front of the vast army. If you want to harm the soldiers of Jojo, you'll have to step over my dead body first. On this side, Feiyu was helping the Empress to safety. The formation was shattered. Even though Luo Tian and Li Balian were not injured, they couldn't possibly face the grand army of the church. In his heart, he was currently complaining about the system's progress. Damn it, just a little bit more. Just a little bit more. Suddenly, at this moment, a great power flew over and landed straight on the ground, in front of Luo Tian and the Empress. Bai Lai appeared. He spoke ambiguously. A spent arrow at the end of its flight still dares to be so arrogant. The soldiers quickly surrounded Yu Xiao and Feiyu, while he flew in the sky, arrogantly provoking them. The so-called Empress of Jojo. A martial emperor-level master, yet you're spitting blood on your own. I see your cultivation level was forcibly raised, wasn't it? Uriel, beside him, also provoked them relentlessly. Jojo has gods. How arrogant. To say that our West is a land abandoned by God. Such heretical words. All of you deserve to die. A great power erupted from her body. But if all of you kneel and beg for the Lord God's forgiveness, perhaps he will spare your lives. He stood to one side, refusing and retorted, Who the hell are you to tell your daddy here to surrender? First, crawl over here and polish your daddy's shoes. Luo Tian and Li Balian scoffed. We people of Jojo would rather die on our feet than live on our knees. Let's just fight. Who's afraid of whom? She looked on with a calm expression upon hearing those words. Then Uriel pointed her weapon directly at everyone. Heretics are heretics, after all. Kill them. The person in the helicopter quickly reported back to Jojo. The soldiers of Jojo have not chosen to surrender. The church has launched its attack. Wang Shui sat behind the screen, constantly monitoring the news. He read some very upsetting comments. Just surrender. Are people really going to die over this? Surrendering isn't something to be ashamed of. Don't try to hold on. No way. Jiuzhou won't lose. Zhao Feiyu definitely has a plan. The church's people charged forward, extremely excited. But Luo Tian and Li Beilian just smirked faintly. Haha. Even if we die here, we will be the last line of defense against the church. Suddenly, a flash of lightning appeared in Fei Yu's eyes. Yu Xiao, standing beside him, also noticed the strange phenomenon in his body. Zhao Fei Yu suddenly shouted for everyone to retreat. Luo Tian turned his head and cursed at Zhao Fei Yu. What trick are you pulling? Yu Xiao also tried to stop him. What are you joking about? Right now, the one who should retreat the most is you. In her heart, she was constantly worried. Zhao Feiyu is the future hope of Jiuzhou. This battle was a fight to the death from the very beginning. Including me, all the generals and soldiers are prepared to die in battle. But as long as he lives, he will lead the people of Jiuzhou to rise again. He turned, smiled reassuringly at her, and said, "Don't worry. Fall back 1 kilometer." Yu Xiao looked at Feiyu with a silent and confused gaze. She decided to obey him and shouted, "Trust, Zhao Feiyu. Retreat." The soldiers retreated in unison. The Jiuzhou army is retreating, leaving only one person behind. The people from the church were bewildered. This kid is about to die, and he's still putting on a show. Let's give him a quick and satisfying death. Balai charged forward, successor of Neza. Go and die. He and his comrades rushed forward to fight him. Jiuzhou's resistance began with you. So now, it should also end because of you. The corners of Fei Yu's mouth curled into a slight smile. Is that so? Turns out, the system had just finished updating. Deity descent. They were sent flying by a pillar of light. The people of the church simultaneously raised their hands to shield their eyes. What is this? He descended with a sculpted and toned six-pack. His body had now completely transformed into Neza. Fei Yu had successfully awaited the deity descent. This is our Jiuzhou's deity, the third prince, Neza. Neza looked around, having just intimidated the people of the church. A bunch of worthless rats dared to invade Jiuzhou. They were now terrified, prostrating on the ground. Just one sentence carried such terrifying pressure. At this moment, Luo, Tian, and the others standing behind were completely shocked by the scene. That is the true form of Neza, a great god. No way that kid could actually summon a deity descent. Yu Xiao watched the scene, 2 streams of tears flowing endlessly. He did it. Balai trembled, not believing his eyes. How is this possible? Uriel clutched her chest and explained, it's the pressure of a true form. The knights in the sky were scared. Their faces pale upon seeing Neza's true form. How can this be? How could Jiuzhou have a true form? They angrily pointed towards Neza's true form. It must be a magic trick he's playing. Besides, he only summoned a child. He doesn't have a shred of a god's dignity. Balai was startled, silently comforting himself. You're right. It must be so. She stood beside him, placed a hand on his shoulder, and comforted him. They're not wrong. Even if he is a true god, he's still just a little child god. Uriel flew into the sky as light spread from her. Knights of the church, do not panic. Jiuzhou's gods are either women or just children. Tell me, what is there to be afraid of? They all looked up in unison. She commanded frantically, today let I, Uriel, lead you to slay a god. Hurrah, Archangel of the Lord God. Balai, beside her, immediately tried to stop her. Are you insane? You and I can both feel the pressure of a true god, even if that god appears to be a child. But we have 2 archangels. They quickly charged towards Neza's true form. Furthermore, we have so many knights. The power of everyone's faith combined with 2 archangels. You're telling me we should be afraid of a minor god from Jiuzhou? You are truly a madwoman. That golden light was created by them to attack the knights. Focus your holy light so we can destroy him. In a single blow, the soldiers received the order, roared, and offered their holy light. Seeing this, Neza spoke with contempt. Just 2 birds in a flock. of fledglings. He rushed forward with immense power and hatred. Those who invade Jojo shall be annihilated, no matter how far. A pillar of red light shot towards them. Uriel, terrified, now screamed, "We'll risk it all." The light of the holy power and the brilliant red light of Neza clashed with each other, creating an immense shockwave. Luo Tian and the Empress shielded themselves from the dust clouds with one hand, while their eyes watched ahead. Neza's power had carved a long scar across the ground. Yu Shao, seeing hope, was overjoyed. So that's the attack of a true god? The church's archangels were directly, along with the church's knights. They had absolutely no ability to resist. Li Balian and the soldiers shouted loudly, "Those who invade our Huaxia shall be annihilated, no matter how far. Those who invade our Huaxia shall be annihilated, no matter how far." Neza stood amidst the praise. "Those who invade our Huaxia shall be annihilated, no matter how far." The helicopter flew closer, surprised by the scene. Just now, the spear of the Jojo deity spewed fire. The church's 2 battle saint-level archangels and over 100,000 heaven master-level knights were directly incinerated into ash. Fei Yu stood at Neza's feet, looking proud. Meanwhile, Wang Shuai on the side was so happy he jumped for joy. I knew it. He jumped so high he hit the ceiling. With a painful lump on his head, Wang Shuai looked at the screen. I knew Fei Yu could do it. He admired Fei Yu's ability. A good omen has come to Jiuzhou. The gods will descend upon Jiuzhou. As expected, our Jiuzhou is the true land of the gods. Are Jiuzhou's gods really that powerful? Mom, I'm scared. I want to change my faith. I want to follow the gods of Jiuzhou. Aura stood inside the room. Having observed all of his actions on the battlefield outside, his face was pale as he witnessed the scene. No, Neza has descended. He recalled something and felt incredibly envious of Fei Yu. For me to see the Lord God, it requires not only countless magical treasures, but also tens of thousands of knights and descendants of archangels to simultaneously offer the power of their faith, just to get a few short minutes. But this Jojo god has only appeared for less than half a month. The amount of faith he has received is not even 1/1000th of the Lord God's, yet he can already descend in his true form. He covered his face, trembling. What does this mean? If just one Jojo god is this powerful, what if there are 10 or hundreds of Jojo gods? Scene change at a magnificent and tranquil palace. Inside on the royal throne sat a mysterious person. She spoke while biting her nails. It's a good thing this descent illusion appeared in the west of Jiuzhou. If it had happened on Fengshan, her eyes glowed red. Then she silently comforted herself. Everything can still be salvaged. At this time, in the meeting room, the small nations surrounding Jiuzhou are expressing their goodwill one by one, wishing to establish good diplomatic relations with us. Yu Shao accepted one, but rejected all the others. Only accept the offer from Cintiq. As for the rest, no need to reply. I still clearly remember the faces of that bunch when they colluded with the church to besiege and attack Jiuzhou. Now, it's time to let them have a taste of fear. A person wearing glasses continued to speak. In addition, the Ministry of Education has designated the first of every month as Awakening Day, allowing Jiuzhou students who are 18 years old to awaken, a part of a deity's inheritance. Yu Shao found this to be very meaningful. Excellent. I hereby declare that the statues of the god Neza and the goddess, the Queen Mother of the West, will be the awakening statues. One only needs to stand before the statues and chant the true name of the deity with unwavering faith to receive a portion of the power from these 2 Jiuzhou gods. She declared to everyone, regardless of whether our people choose to summon a Jiuzhou deity or a Western deity. That is their right. No one is allowed to interfere. I trust the people of Jiuzhou. But Fei Yu, in his room, was concentrating all his effort on channeling power into his body. His body was continuously absorbing it to upgrade his power. I've swallowed 7 spirit pills. The speed of my celestial cycle has increased by at least 3 times. Whirlpools of spiritual energy continuously swirled around his body. While absorbing, Fei Yu thought to himself, a martial cultivator can condense internal energy in their body. The stronger the internal energy, the greater the explosive power. Very quickly, he formed an enormous sphere of energy. But immortal cultivation is about transforming all the internal energy in the body into a gaseous form. Fei Yu suddenly opened his eyes, which flashed with a golden light. Then he shouted, break. The clothes on his body were torn to shreds. True chi is several levels stronger than internal energy. Furthermore, one celestial cycle of true chi in the body is better than 3 celestial cycles of internal energy. A red mist enveloped his handsome face. This also means I have now reached the threshold to break through to the martial ancestor realm. Between martial ancestor and martial saint, there's only a thin membrane left. With just one opportunity, I can break through. The sky at this moment became extremely dark. Dark clouds gathered relentlessly. Soon, flashes of lightning appeared, causing the people below to panic. Why is there sudden lightning? Is it going to rain? Surely not. The weather forecast said it would be clear. And I didn't even bring an umbrella. You shall, seeing the clouds form a pillar of light, understood what was happening. Has this guy cultivated another divine art? She asked herself. Last time, it was earth gathering into a mass. This time, it's thunder and lightning. Zhao Feiyu, the one praised as the hope of Jiuzhou. Just how powerful will you become? His body was continuously breaking through. 2 spheres of lightning were floating in his hands. Suddenly, the muscles in Fei Yu's hand tensed. His eyes opened wide, filled with a blue mist. In a small room, he shot out bolts of lightning from his new divine art. Only then did Fei Yu let out a sigh of relief. I've mastered another divine art from Nez's techniques. However, I'm only at the peak of the martial ancestor realm. My cultivation is still shallow. I've only comprehended the surface level at most. I can only summon a few bolts of divine lightning. But he suddenly looked down at his body, a bit bewildered. Why did I have to sacrifice another set of clothes? Fei Yu quickly grabbed a set of clothes, put them on, and went outside. As he stepped out, he met a citizen, young Master Zhao. The person looked at him happily. The weather today is so strange. A moment ago, it was clear and sunny, but then storm clouds suddenly gathered. There's probably going to be a big storm soon. Fei Yu replied to that statement, not necessarily. With one hand pointed to the sky, he successfully scattered the dark clouds. The dark clouds dispersed, revealing holy light shining down. Golden sunlight shone upon everyone's bodies, surprising them. What? The dark clouds are gone. Were these dark clouds caused by Master Zhao? The two of them looked at him with endless admiration. No wonder he's called the hope of Jiuzhou. Master Zhao truly possesses divine powers. What else could it be? As powerful as a true god. Very quickly, he arrived at the Empress's location. You were looking for me? She finished reading the book in her hands, looked up, and asked him, do you know the ratio between students who chose Eastern god statues to awaken, and students who chose Western god statues on this awakening day? How many was it? The question made Fei Yu frown. I'm guessing 10 to 1, right? Yu Xiao smiled upon hearing his words. You guessed correctly, I think. It must be thanks to your valor at the Jiuzhou border, isn't it? Receiving the compliment, he replied proudly. The divine powers of Jiuzhou's gods are incredibly strong. Anyone who isn't a fool would surely choose them. I was just showing a tiny fraction of that power. Suddenly, at this moment, Li Baoyang rushed in to report. Your Majesty, something major has happened. Yu Zhao's brows furrowed. What could make Governor Li so flustered? A panicked Li Baoyang reported the situation outside the city. A fire disaster. The rescuers were currently trying their best to extinguish the massive blazes and evacuating the citizens. This fire is too strange. Why can't it be extinguished by any means? Hurry, don't take your belongings, just run. This fire can't be put out. It will flare up again soon. The flame is like a monster wanting to devour the firefighters alive. No, Father God. The people were terrified, looking at the fire. Oh my God, are we all going to be turned into charred corpses? Why hasn't Shinshan sent anyone to save us yet? I'm still young, I don't want to die. Suddenly, raindrops poured down from the sky. Everyone cheered in unison as the rain fell. It's raining. The corners of everyone's mouths turned up in a smile. It's Father God who heard our pleas. This must be the rain sent down by Father God. He is saving us. We're saved. But the fire wasn't extinguished by the rain. Something's wrong. Everyone run. The fire is spreading along the water. The flames quickly surrounded the people. No, the fire seemed to carry some kind of magical power, swirling into a tornado and rising to the sky. It had trapped the people below. This fire can even change its shape. Is humanity really about to be annihilated? Amidst the erupting flames, the silhouette of someone appeared. That person, with red hair and a fiery body, introduced himself. I am the god of fire, the one who commands all flames in the world. Hephaestus. The people knelt and bowed. The god of fire? I've never heard of this god. He commanded the raging fire. Flames, retreat. All the flames in the capital city receded, returning peace to the people. But everyone was stunned. The fire is retreating towards the sea? How is that possible? The people, seeing this scene, were overjoyed. Are we saved? He walked with his soldiers. I am the successor of the god of fire. By the order of God King Alice, I have come to rescue you all. Everyone knelt and cheered in unison. It's the god of fire, Hephaestus. You have saved all our lives. Hephaestus, the great god. At this moment, a man standing beside him caught the people's attention. He stepped forward to introduce himself. I'm the younger brother of God King Alice, and the inheritor of the god of fire, Hephaestus. To show my respect for the gods, I have changed my name to Hephaestus. Just then, a blonde girl holding a microphone walked up to him. The great Hephaestus, may I ask you, how certain are you that you can extinguish this great fire? Hephaestus answered into the mic. How certain do you think I am? The hand of the girl, holding the mic, immediately started to tremble. It turned out his breath had burned her arm. So hot. At that moment, she looked at him with an adoring gaze. You are the noble god of fire. This strange fire from the sea tribe is nothing to you. Extinguishing it must be as easy as turning over your hand. Hephaestus exhaled sharply. The power of the fire god is unparalleled. Putting out a large fire is effortless. God of fire, we are willing to trust you. At this moment, he opened his eyes wide and said sternly, although Shinshan and the church are rivals, this great fire is an invisible war between humanity and the sea tribe. I will help extinguish all the fires in the west. But his smile was somewhat sinister. As for the east, Hephaestus stood up, his body igniting in flames, his face dark as he spoke. Jiuzhou is too arrogant. They murder my elder brother, Ares, along with over 100,000 troops from Shinshan. They are heretics and followers of a wicked path. This time, let the flames burn the east to ashes and put an end to everything. They cheered in support of his words. May the god of fire judge the east. They have betrayed the faith and dominion of the west. They have long been heretics. A clear blue sky over the capital city of Jiuzhou. Yu Shao sat on her throne, her heart filled with worry. Mobilize the soldiers from the four garrisons to the coast to fight the fire together. Li Baoyang stepped forward to continue his report. Your Majesty, the fire god has appeared in the west. In the west, and some small coastal countries to the east, the fires have been extinguished. Fei Yu, who was beside them, interjected, that's their business. What does it have to do with our Jiuzhou? The urgent matter now is to save Jiuzhou from the fire. His face was now full of worry. But the Western Fire God has declared he will not help Jiuzhou. The fires in Jiuzhou continue. Rumors have started spreading online that the cause is Zhao Fei Yu's murder of Ares. Yu Shao didn't know what to say to that news. She felt a severe headache. If this disaster is truly so severe as to destroy all of Jiuzhou, this queen will personally go to the west to atone. I absolutely will not let Jiuzhou perish in a sea of fire. She stood up and ordered Li Baoyang, go and convey my decree. My queen, our Jiuzhou won't have to resort to that. Yu Shao walked out the door, looking up at the sunset-reddened sky. At this moment, he walked to her side. The firefighting is ineffective. Jiuzhou is about to fall into misery, and I am powerless. The people have been displaced by the fire. It is because your Majesty has not fulfilled her duty to the people. What atonement from Jiuzhou? He turned to ask her, does Her Majesty think that, if you go to Shinshan or the church, the so-called fire god will lend a hand? She sighed softly, her gaze lowered as she replied, the West and I have a common enemy, the sea tribe. If this queen goes to the West, Shinshan will surely help out of consideration. She believed in herself, even if I have to trade my own life for the lives of millions in Jiuzhou, it would be worth it. His lips curved into a smile as he looked at Yu Shao, thinking to himself, for Jiuzhou to have such an enlightened ruler is truly a blessing for the world. He then spoke to her proudly. Actually, our Jiuzhou also has a god of fire, and he can also put out the fire. What? Yu Xiao, upon hearing this, stepped forward and shook him repeatedly. Are you serious? Our Jiuzhou has its own fire god. She shook him so hard he became dizzy. Gently, you're going to break me. At this, Yu Xiao let go. Forgive me, this queen was impolite. But does this fire god of Jiuzhou you speak of truly exist? He explained the story of the fire god to her. Zhu Rong illuminates all places, allowing crops and plants to sprout. He spread civilization with a sacred flame, banishing plagues. The fire god, Zhu Rong. At this point, the system appeared. System has detected fire god Zhu Rong waiting outside the space. Does the master god permit his entry? Fei Yu thought to himself, he's an ancient great god. Zhu Rong is incredibly powerful. His cultivation is even above Neza's. I just mentioned him and Neza. I didn't think he'd arrive so quickly. He nodded to the system. Permitted. Zhu Rong entered with great presence, accompanied by a massive flame. His body was incredibly muscular, and he entered with a powerful fiery force. But he still bowed his head before him. High Immortal, this lesser god on the heavenly road, heard that the High Immortal was injured here and came specially to pay my respects. Fei Yu smiled at Zhu Rong. That's thoughtful of you. Besides this, is there any other matter? He hesitated, not knowing how to answer. Is it for the power of faith from Blue Star? Zhu Rong laughed and scratched his head in reply. The one who understands me is the High Immortal. This lesser god came here. Firstly, to admire the High Immortal's presence, and secondly, for the sake of faith. He then explained the situation outside. I've heard the Sea Tribe currently has 7 aberrations. They were all severely injured and fled from the other side of the starry sky. I wonder if any among them have the ability to control fire. After hearing this, Zhu Rong thought of someone, an aberration who controls fire. A few hundred years ago, this lesser god seriously injured an aberration who controlled fire. Her name is Lianing. He clenched his fists, his voice filled with anger. I could have slain her back then, but dozens of aberrations protected her at the cost of their lives, helping her escape the heavenly road as a falling star. I never expected she would be hiding on Blue Star. Fei Yu then offered Zhu Rong an opportunity. That one has caused a great fire. Humanity is powerless, and Jiuzhou is threatened by the blaze. Its people suffering. If you step in to extinguish the flames, I believe you will surely gain a great deal of faith. Really? His gaze was calm as he asked him back. Are you willing? Zhu Rong knelt on one knee to accept the order. This lesser god will do everything in my power to extinguish the fire. I dare not refuse. His eyes were filled with hatred. This Lianing was once a general under my command. Extinguishing the fire she created, wouldn't that be as easy as turning over my hand? At this moment, he summoned a green flame. High Immortal, this is the seed of the ancient strange fire, the black flame. This black flame can not only help you recover from injuries quickly, but can also be used for offense and defense. Its uses are endless. I hope the High Immortal will accept it. He took the flame. That's very thoughtful. Seeing Fei Yu take the flame with his bare hands, Zhu Rong was incredibly shocked. A strange fire like this can burn all things. Even a saint wouldn't dare to accept it so casually. Yet this senior took it so easily. Truly terrifying. Not to mention, this space is a small world that only a saint could create. Outside at this moment, the fire mixed with seawater was continuously advancing on. Jiuzhou, Luo Tian walked on the city wall, extremely worried. I'm afraid the city wall won't hold for much longer. Quickly, have the people evacuate. Yes, sir. The sky now was not a sunset, but massive flames. A girl stood on a balcony, watching the great fire. Jiuzhou has a god who used fire to enlighten, titled the Red Emperor, Qi Di. Just then, a teacher walked over and patted her on the shoulder. Qing Qing, what are you talking about? Nothing, ma'am. She was a little scared. It's just that I suddenly remembered the legend of the fire god that my grandmother used to tell me. The teacher then explained to Qing Qing. I know your father has converted to believing in the Western gods, and even forced you to awaken before a Western god statue, which made you resent him. But now the fire is approaching. Go home with your father, pack your things, and prepare to leave. Yes, ma'am. Thank you, teacher. Qing Qing quickly returned to her familiar home. She held a photo of her grandmother in her hand. Grandma, you once said Qing Cheng has a fire god. He can surely protect Qing Cheng. He can definitely help Jojo avoid this fire disaster. Suddenly, her father slammed the door open and stormed in. What are you still dawdling for? Can't you see the fire has reached the city gates? He angrily smashed things and knocked the photo of her grandmother out of her hand. Why are you still looking at a picture of that old woman? If it weren't for her insisting on believing in some non-existent fire, God, our whole family would have moved to the West long ago. Looking at the cracked photo, he continued to curse. And you, on Awakening Day, I told you to awaken before the Western God statue, but you refused. Do you know I already discussed it with the bishop? As long as you awakened successfully, we could have moved to the West. Now look, the fire in the West has been put out by their fire god. But what about Qingsheng? What about Jiuzhou? He slammed the door shut and left, but still left behind a curse. Sooner or later, we're all going to die here. It's all because of your and your grandmother's stubbornness. Tears streamed down Qingsheng's face. Grandma, I believe you. At this point, she could no longer hold back her sobs. Our Jiuzhou definitely has a fire god. He will save everyone. Right. Outside, Luo Tian spoke to the people from above. Fellow citizens, everyone needs to evacuate quickly. But they say that home is where the people are. As long as everyone is together, we will quickly rebuild Qingsheng. There's no use for everyone to stay here. The people below were terrified, but this is our home. There's only one Qingsheng. This is where our ancestors have lived for generations. This is our root. No one wants to leave their roots. Luo Tian was trying his best to persuade everyone. You all have wives, children, and future generations. Do you really want to watch your children and grandchildren die in Qingsheng? Zhao Feiyu also stepped forward to persuade them. Where there's life, there's hope. We are only leaving temporarily for now. Once this fire is extinguished, everyone can still return. Suddenly, something exploded in the distance. The city wall collapsed. The fire has reached the foot of the mountain. Luo Tian hurriedly shouted at the people. Everyone run quickly. Consider this me, Luo Tian, begging all of you. He reminded everyone to let the women and children go first. Men and adults, go after them, quickly. Luo Tian then turned to the soldiers and said, Soldiers, listen up. Follow me to fight the fire. By time for the people to leave, even if we have to form a human wall, we must temporarily stop the flames. Understood. Everyone got on the vehicles and headed towards the foot of the mountain, where the fire was raging fiercely. Qingxing and her father were sitting in one of those cars, her mind filled with thoughts. She huddled in a corner. Grandma, is Qingsheng really going to be destroyed? Just then, her teacher turned to comfort her. Don't be afraid. I will protect you. Okay. Qingxing looked up at the sky. Fire god, I beg you to descend and save us. Hephaestus, sitting in a room full of monitoring screens, thought, the people of Jiuzhou now completely know their place. They have requested that the Queen of Jiuzhou and Zhao Feiyu atone with their lives, and are begging for me to come and save them. Just then, the woman he called sister turned to remind him, you can't let your guard down. Jiuzhou is not as simple as you think. He didn't care. His expression was scornful. They can't even handle one major disaster, and they call their gods gods. I really can't believe the church actually dispatched a 200,000 strong army, plus 2 war gods, and still couldn't defeat them. A bunch of losers. She crossed her arms, closed her eyes, and reminded her brother, don't underestimate Jiuzhou. Hephaestus, by extinguishing the great Western disaster, gained an immense amount of faith power for you. Even the Pope praised you endlessly. Now, you're truly becoming more and more arrogant. He held a glass of wine in his hand. Sipping it, he spoke, Sister, you are being too cautious. Unless a fire god also appears in Jiuzhou. Otherwise, this great fire can absolutely not be extinguished. After speaking, he crushed the wine glass in his hand into pieces. But the fire god is unique. On this entire blue star, there is only one fire god, and that is me, Hephaestus. His sister looked at the monitoring screens and prayed silently. I hope what you said is true, and that everything will go smoothly. Meanwhile, in Jiuzhou, at that moment, people were trying their best to extinguish the great fire with water. Damn it, it can't be put out. Suddenly, a citizen pointed to the sky and shouted, there's something in the sky. In the sky. At that moment, a blazing fireball was flying towards them at an incredible speed. Everyone looked at the fireball, lamenting, Fire is falling from the sky now, too. We're doomed. Ching is doomed. Jiuzhou is doomed. The fireball flew in and created a huge explosion, bringing with it small embers. But the surrounding raging flames were extinguished, leaving the people completely bewildered. What was that just now? After it fell, the fire around it went out. What? Let's take this chance to drive down the mountain. Qing suddenly shouted. That direction is the fire god temple. It seems to be the ruins of Qing's fire god temple. She jumped out of the car, so fast her teacher couldn't stop her in time. Qing, be careful. What are you trying to do? She landed on the ground, her whole body aching. Ooh! Qing mustered all her strength and shakily stood up. Long ago, the fire god Zhurong fought a great battle with the water god Gonggong. Gonggong, defeated and enraged, smashed into Mount Buzhou. Despite the pain, her feet carried her forward, running quickly. Grandma, it's the fire god. At that moment, Zhurong appeared, full of power, with a blazing fire surrounding his body, and descended amidst the inferno. Could it be the fire god of Jiuzhou? What? Was that fireball a new god statue? Luo Tian was shocked by the scene. This is Zhao Feiyu, standing beside him, smiled faintly. Wouldn't you call this a surprise? Luo Tian stepped forward and asked him, is this really the fire god? Jiuzhou, we have a fire god too? Look down there, and you'll see. Meanwhile, Qing was running and panting. She ran towards the fire god, filled with hope. Suddenly, a rock blocked her path. Her teacher quickly ran up and caught Qing's staggering body. Be careful. She kept asking Qing, what's wrong? This place is too dangerous. Quickly, come back to the car with me. Teacher, my grandma didn't lie to me. The fire god has truly descended. That place is the fire god temple. When I was little, I used to go there with my grandma to worship. She said resolutely to her teacher, I must go worship the fire god now and pray for him to extinguish this great fire. Her teacher tried hard to dissuade her. Although this path is clear, the fires on both sides are too big. If you keep going, I'm afraid you'll be roasted to a crisp. But she suddenly struggled and broke free from her teacher's grasp. The fire god must have heard our prayers. That's why he descended into the stone statue, shining his light upon Blue Star. I must go worship the fire god. At this, her teacher also wavered. If that's the case, I'll go with you. Over here, Zhao Feiyu stood alone amidst the great fire. His mind was filled with thoughts. That little girl carries within her a power, an extremely strong faith that belongs to the fire god. Watching the teacher and student run towards the fire god, Zhao Feiyu felt extremely proud. Although all the scriptures about Jiuzhou's gods have been destroyed and the stories told by the people, there are still many legends about the gods that have been passed down, and the seeds of Jiuzhou's gods have always been preserved among the folk. This is the foundation of Jiuzhou's gods. The teacher ran, panting, Qing. We can't go on. If we go further, you'll be burned by the fire. But her stubbornness pushed her onward. No, I must go, for my faith, for Qingsheng, and for Jiuzhou. Soon, she had run right in front of Zhurong. Suddenly, a great flame snaked towards her, striking Qing directly. The attack, carrying a great flame, knocked her onto the scorching hot ground. Her teacher ran up and held her. Little Zhurong, carrying his flames, approached Qing and her teacher, who was holding her. Suddenly, his eyes widened in alarm. As he saw danger approaching the two of them, Zhurong quickly struck, dispelling the flames that were surrounding them. Qing's eyes slowly fluttered open. She looked up, and right before her eyes was the solemn face of Zhurong. Qing quickly knelt down. Fian leads 2 evil dragons in 3,000 battles. Gonggong angrily strikes the mountain. The sky tilts to the north. She looked up at him with eyes full of hope. The more Zhurong listened, the more his body erupted. With great power, Zhuyang shines brightly. The 5 types of crops blossom, teaching about fire, starting the flame to drive away plague. After Qing's sentences, his eyes gleamed like crystal gems. Overlapping with previous line, his body now radiated a powerful energy. Great fire god Zhurong, I beg you to descend. Extinguish the great fire and save Jiuzhou. The flames that were burning Jiuzhou, which were still raging, suddenly vanished in an instant. When that sentence was spoken, the people below were utterly astonished. I'm the fire god, Zhurong. I illuminate the light of heaven and earth, and give birth to the plants of the 5 grains. Meanwhile, Hephaestus looked at the monitoring screen, furious and disbelieving his eyes. What's going on? All the strange flames have disappeared. Impossible. Impossible. This infuriated him. This can't be. When I receive the inheritance of the fire god, Hephaestus himself told me that I'm the only fire god on the entire blue star. His eyes went blank as he cursed internally. But now, why has another fire god appeared in Jojo? Moreover, though we are both fire gods, Jojo's fire god seems to naturally suppress Hephaestus. Suddenly, a voice rang out from behind him. What's going on? Didn't you say that in this world you were the only successor of the fire god? Hephaestus replied in a hurried voice. That's right, Hephaestus is the only fire god. That Jojo fire god is some kind of... As he was speaking fervently, a great power suddenly pressed down on him. He quickly collapsed to the ground. How can this kind of pressure exist? Meanwhile, at the Pope's side, they were having a huge headache. That damned Hephaestus is just a fool, messing up my plans. Aurora, sitting on a chair, had a massive headache. This fire god Jerome, the moment he appeared, solved Jojo's fire disaster. He will surely gain a large amount of faith power. The belief in Jojo's gods will be strengthened. For the West to receive faith power from Jojo will be very difficult. Scene changes to Zhao Feiyu's side. He was approaching Qin Xing and her teacher. Seeing the scene before him, Zhao Feiyu was surprised. I didn't expect the fire god temple to be restored as well. When Qin Xing saw him coming, her face lit up with joy. She bowed respectfully to greet him. Mr. Zhao, Commander Luo, thank you for bringing us here. In her heart, she was more grateful to him than ever. The verses I recited in Zhurong's true name were all secretly transmitted to me by Zhao Feiyu, overlapping with previous line. It can be said that my ability to obtain the fire god's inheritance is all thanks to Zhao Feiyu. Zhao Feiyu congratulated her. Congratulations on obtaining the fire god's inheritance. In the future, matters related to fire in Jojo will have to rely on you. Those words made her wave her hands shyly. No, no, no. Although I have the inheritance, I'm just a mortal. Things like controlling the size of the fire. I'm afraid only the fire god himself, descending in person, could do that. Seeing her shy expression, Zhao Feiyu smiled and replied, by obtaining the power of the inheritance, your cultivation level will rapidly increase. When the water god is born, the two of you supporting each other will be even more wonderful. Luo Tan, beside them, hesitated a bit surprised. There's a water god, too? If there's a fire god, of course there will be a water god. It's just that, specifically when the water god will be born, is currently unknown. 3 days later, on a large screen, an image of Hephaestus appeared. He was angrily answering an interview. What Jojo fire god? He's nothing but an unknown, wild god. How dare he impersonate the great fire god? He angrily pointed directly at the camera. On this entire blue star, there's only one fire god, and that is me, Hephaestus. I hereby issue a challenge to the fire god of Jojo. Does Jojo dare to accept the battle? On Dongfang Yuxiao's side, very quickly, they received the challenge from Hephaestus. Everyone gathered. Luo Tian spoke up angrily. This Hephaestus guy is a real idiot. He knows full well that Qin Xing is just a high school student, and yet he still issues a challenge. I feel that we should just not give any answer. Respond to all changes by remaining unchanged. Li Boyang agreed with Luo Tian's opinion. That's right. Or, let me fight in Qin Xing's place. She turned to ask Zhao Feiyu, what do you think? He replied with a powerful voice. Accept the challenge. Hearing those 2 words, the 4 of them couldn't help but be surprised. Accept the challenge? A worried look appeared on Qin Xing's face. Mr. Zhao, I'm just a weak high school student. I'm afraid I can't fight. Zhao Feiyu sighed. This battle is not about cultivation level. Luo Tian was even more surprised to hear his words. Zhao Feiyu explained to everyone, this is a war of faith. If our Jojo wants to gain more faith power, then we must fight this battle. This is also a battle for honor. Beads of sweat rolled down Yu Xiao's face from worry. And that's it for my video. The above was a summary of the series. If you have any opinions, please leave them in the comments below. Don't forget to leave me a like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell to get more interesting videos. For now, goodbye and see you again. Bye-bye.